Hello, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. It's Thursday night, it's ladies' night, potentially the best night of the week. And I'm joined by...
It certainly is.
I'm joined by the two lady killers themselves, both of whom I've been told, and quote me if I'm wrong, that you guys are top picks on Tinder.
And Grindr.
I'm not on Tinder, Rob. So how dare you?
Good. I got one in trouble and the other one threw himself under the bus as gay. Excellent start to the show.
Mate, if you're gonna get bullied on the internet, you need to own it.
Agreed.
That's why I just relentlessly post pictures of crystal dildos all over WhatsApp chats. It's how it works.
You should make it your profile picture.
Yeah. Make yourself immune. So I'm joined by the wonderful Nick and Tom. Nick, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
Oh, great. And Tom, how are you?
Aha.
Welcome to The Honest Wargamer.
Good.
Yeah.
Hello, JBM, Longshot Loxley, Sinise, Jim 980, Full Greamer, Sinise, our devastatingly severe moderator of the Twitch chat.
I've seen him time out duty all day more times than I don't know.
A lot.
But I've been matched on Tinder.
And don't forget, if you thank you very much for everyone on Twitch. If you are a subscriber on Twitch, don't forget you're able to use your jet emoji now.
You can jet all over the chat.
Yeah, that's right. You can
For
jet all
ladies,
day long.
jet
Hello, Heinrad, the second most successful player with... no, that's wrong.
Sim Kings.
No, second
least
most
most.
unsuccessful player with Daughters of Cain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the
Hi,
most
Jackals.
unsuccessful?
Fucking the meta all by himself.
Who's the most unsuccessful?
Unknown.
It's not
Unknown.
Speckles, is it?
Yeah, probably.
If he played them, it would be.
If you played them, it would be. And thank you to everyone, as always, on Patreon. You guys are incredible. I hope you guys enjoy everything. Thank you for supporting the show and being the kings of that. You guys are the reason we're able to make our fair and unbiased reviews of things. So thank you.
Yeah.
And if you're watching on YouTube back, just leave some comments. Or subscribe. I can now tell you guys that, by the way, gents, we've now hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. So congratulations.
If you help with the algorithms, we can hit 5,000 by the time the night is over.
Yeah.
So
So if you
keep
leave
spamming.
comments or likes, it improves the algorithms, and that's great for us. And also, we've also had 100,000 views on YouTube.
Nice.
If you guys are interested.
Sick.
Yep.
And also, thank you to our podcast listeners because, and this special announcement is for you, if we carry on with our podcast this year, we'll hit 500,000 downloads this year.
Ooh.
That's pretty cool.
That's a nice
You're about to say a
trajectory
quarter
to be
and
on.
you just stopped.
No, because that was wrong.
Yeah, it's even better. It's double that. Not bad.
Oh, JBM, thanks very much for subscribing. And Matt Lloyds for 7 months in a row. You guys are great.
Oh,
Hi,
nice.
Flaming Farmer. Brad Glover. Also, hi to Brad Glover. Gorgeous hobbyist.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
I think he's coming to the final as well because he won
right.
the Knights of the Inner Circle.
He is going to the
So, yeah,
final.
should
He
be
is. And he just asked us, are any of you guys going to the GT final next week? That's 2.
I just bought my ticket.
It's not next week.
It's the week after.
Yeah.
I think I'm in Adepticon. So
If you're in
half.
Adepticon, can I borrow your mech guns? Because
Yes,
I am
'cause
not
you
allowed
can't
to use
use
crystal
yours.
dildos.
Yes. Also, Hook and Pin here for Ladies' Night always. Thank you very much for the 500-bit donation. Keeping it real. She's but donated just because it's Ladies' Night. And also, Chapter Master Valrak, the man who knows whether or not Primarchs are coming back every day.
Yeah.
In the chat, just mentions a Primarch in every other YouTube video. Gets subs in no time.
And it's always Dawn.
It's always
It's got to be Dawn.
I still have no idea what I'm doing, he says. I like how really self-aware he is. What an angel.
And yet it's working. Imagine how powerful he'd be if he did know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yes. Is this the week you talk AOS in space? That's correct, Jonathan Etland. You gorgeous man. So today we're going to be talking all things 40k, which is really fun. You guys, but before we go any further, have you guys done any 40k this week?
I've not played a game this week, but I last weekend I properly organised my orc army because playing an orc army with 177 models takes a lot of time to play and also physically get out and put away at the end. And if I'm going to take it to a tournament, I want that to be as efficient as possible. So I've got 2 really useful boxes, like the long, shallow ones. Metal sheet at the bottom of each of them,
Like a plant trough.
like a plant.
Like a trough that you have your plants
Oh
in.
no, it's not
Yeah.
thin. It's like it's about that wide.
Oh,
And
okay.
then like that
Yeah.
one. So they're metal at the bottom, and then all of my units are magnetized into their movement trays, and the movement trays are magnetized to the bottom of the box as well.
Oh, nice.
So basically, I turn up with my 2 boxes, and I'm ready to deploy.
Who are you?
Straight from there.
Magneto.
Yeah. It's gone. Don't come back after that.
We're the hosts now.
We're the hosts now. That's terrible.
I am the captain now.
Sorry. And is it make it easier to move?
Well, yeah, because I could just turn up and deploy straight away, and then all the movement chairs I've like color coded them so my opponent can see what units is where. So hopefully it just makes it easier for me and them.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so that was my hobby, and I didn't play a game, sadly.
Oh. Hashtag sad face.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Tom, do you know any?
I didn't play any games either.
Wow.
But I have been writing lists. So
Okay.
I wrote my list for Hellstorm. Hellstorm Wargaming's 2-day event at Sanctuary Gaming Centre next month.
Yep.
And that's kind of like an ITC thing, but you have to use the same kind of faction sub-keyword. So if it's Evil Sons, it has to all be Evil Sons. No fortifications, no duplicating detachments, which has caused real issues for orcs because I can't take double battalion.
Yeah, that sucks.
So I've written that list. And then I've also written my GT final list, which I'm running at an event this weekend just to test it out. And it's got Gazgal in it.
Gazgal Thraka.
It has.
Yeah,
So-
we all had a chat, didn't we, this week about, because as you guys may have listened from last week's show, orc-centric at the moment. Not overly good for everyone listening, but orc players are like, sweet, we've got our own podcast.
It kind of got to the point where I was like, I really want more boys, but I don't want to paint them. What can I take that's 200 odd points? It kind of went down the Land Raider trajectory of what can I put on my list to make it more shitty so I'll get more sporting votes. And then I thought, I've got Gazgal in there. And then I checked him out.
What about Wisebomb Blaster Jet?
I could do, but I have Metal Gazgal.
Okay.
So I was like, if I put him in, I just had a look at his rules. He's actually not that bad.
Now, which Gazgal do you have? Because the metal one before. Because there's like.
So I've got the one where he's kind of got the hulking arms sideways.
So not the one before.
But what I've done is I've taken the arms because I got it like when I was 14, and the arms are kind of pointing forwards, like he's going and having a bit of a grabby.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
But he can one bang a night because I've also got a third weird boy in there with what's the Fist of Gork, which is +2 attacks, +2 strength. So it'll make him strength 14 rather than 16. But he also explodes his attacks on 6s. When he rolls a 6 to hit, he gets an extra attack, which hits on 2s. So with 9 attacks, strength 14, AP -4, I think, or AP -3 potentially, damage free.
Yep.
And then you can fight twice with him if you want to as well, because he's an infantry keyword.
Okay.
So he's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
All right, nice.
I'm not going to give away all the tricks.
And also, and I've got to say, for two reasons, and it's all thanks to Dude Our Day in the chat. But number one, what I'm really glad to hear you haven't been doing is any hobby. Yeah, like I'm overly keen.
I have been doing some hobby.
Oh, no.
Do you want to hear about it?
No, but
I'm not sure.
we might be giving a prize away on the show.
Yeah,
Ooh.
we have a
Related
prize
to your
giveaway.
hobby.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So
Nicholas?
in this envelope, we have a prize to give away to a
Rattles
viewer.
like crystals.
So we have in here 3 Met guns.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
That's an entire spearhead.
There are 3. Wait, if you guys listen to the podcast, I'm doing the bunny ears. Met guns inside of
Here, look.
said.
Oh,
3
yes,
Met
mate.
guns. There you go.
They're identical.
There you go.
So who wins that
So
prize?
enough parts to make 3 Met guns.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So people can either tweet us or they can put in the Discord their best orc conversion.
Yeah, put in your
Brad
best
Glover's gonna
orc
win, isn't
conversion, and then you will win yourself enough crystals to make at least 3 Met guns.
3
It-
Tom Layton Met guns.
It doesn't include the green stuff or the chain.
No.
Or the.
They're
what-
sold separately.
Yeah, they. Yeah, unfortunately. But with that said, Dude Our Day donated 300 bits for Hobby God Nikos, and then 100 bits for the Hobby Criminal Rogrux the Bad.
Hey, I have you know I was very popular on Twitter this week by stealing things.
Good. That's solid.
We have to bring balance to the force.
Yeah, all the time. Someone said to me the other day, they were like, "We're so glad that you called Tom out constantly on his shit," and I was like,
That's
"Yeah,
fine.
like that we have to because we call everyone
I'm just
else."
looting memes.
Yeah.
I've got to be relevant some way.
Yeah. Good.
There you go.
I haven't done
Fine.
any. I haven't done any 40k hobby this week, which has been a bit of a shame. Although I have been looking at some models, and I do think that the thing when we get to it, I'm all in on the Chaos Marines.
They do look cool.
I am all in. Like absolutely, I've been reading like I saw some of the models and I saw some of the stuff, and I just went off and started reading some narrative. So I was just looking around, and then I started looking, and I downloaded a couple of the Horus Heresy audiobooks because that's the cool thing about Chaos, right?
On
'Cause-
Audible via our affiliate link.
Yeah,
of course.
I don't know what that is at this stage, but yeah, sure. Stunty 007, thank you for the 500-bit donation. That's super lovely of you. I don't know if I've actually got the thing here, the overlays working, but thanks. And the Mongol shot locks, it's the same here, brother. I don't care if they're shit. So there you go. So with that said, should we go on with the news?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now we're going to start off with the releases from Shadowspear, if that's okay with you.
That's okay.
Because I'm going to press a button and do a thing.
I'm ready.
Hold on. I haven't done a thing. Wait, before I do that, this
And
is
what's the stream delay?
Strap in.
so everyone strap in. Let me just press
react
paste,
so we can
and
see
it'll be a
it.
reference. That's fine. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Three,
Oh my god!
Oh,
look at that.
looks
Look
amazing.
at that.
Wait, how quick is that?
Oh,
that's
that's brilliant.
That's way far. You're not seeing anything, are you?
No, we aren't. No, we just
We are
reacting.
now. We are now.
Okay, but the first thing we're going to look at is
Oh yeah, I have seen this.
this fella.
I watched the stats show.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that should look. That should be.
yeah.
That's not very official model though. That's
Come
a
on,
Photoshop,
Abaddon.
isn't it?
So they've announced the most aware announcement that we ever had, which is Abaddon. Are you guys excited about Abaddon's release?
Yeah, man.
I'm not. I'm excited about it
Well-
because it's a really cool model. I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily going to buy and play with him, but he's a sweet model. I do like how he looks basically just identical to his original model, but just modernized.
Looks
Bigger
like
and cool.
Guilliman base. Yeah.
Yeah. Is he? Do we know the size comparison? Is he Gulliman size or is he?
Yeah, he's Gulliman size. In
That's
fact,
nice.
actually,
that is ridiculous.
there's an incredibly cool thing actually. If you, because he effectively his pose has been. So if you were in Photoshop or on an app on your phone or anything like that, if you just clicked mirror. Or flipped it, you effectively his sword is on the left and then his fist is on the right. That's Gulliman's pose, right?
just the
the other
hands the other way around.
Yeah, the other way around. But if you actually put them facing each other and someone has photoshopped them like facing each other, it does look like they're about to like go to like a massive fisticuffs, which is quite cool. And it also kind of makes sense. I know this now. I haven't listened to the podcast about these models being designed yet. And so this might be bullshit, but I'm just going to make it up anyway. What would be cool is obviously because Abaddon effectively is Horus's son, and then Gulliman is the Emperor's son. But obviously one fell to chaos, one didn't. What's nice is
Well,
they're
also
diametric.
Horus was the Emperor's son as well.
Yeah, the Emperor's son. What's nice is they're diametrically opposed as models, like sword on the left, fist. So it's like they're effectively the same, but from different angles.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm sure that must have been
It's like the
intentional.
shadow, like in the mirror.
Yeah, which I think is actually really cool. Like as a model, to be honest. Although I don't know how he reloads that gun arm thing.
Magic.
Some Chaos Familiar probably does it for him.
Yeah, sexy tennis. Everyone said. Actually, someone made the best argument I've seen recently, which was someone just said ammo demons, and I was like, solid.
Demons,
Yeah, you've got it.
It's like the One Ring. It just enters his gun on its own will.
What would be really awesome is, like Golden Demon, they have a category of duels. It'd be really cool if someone, like a heavy metal painter or someone of that quality, did a diorama with them facing off.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be really sweet.
I think that would be very, very cool. And, and I like it. And there's a Forge World duo that they sell where it is.
Is that Loken versus
it is.
Abaddon? Yeah.
There you go. And that's what. Well done.
I'm proud of that.
I'm really proud of you. And actually, I thought that this was very similar because if you took both and put them on a base, like facing each other, it would be very Loken Abaddon-esque, which I think is cool. Anyway, the chat says superior landing. And then, why are we showing the photoshopped version of him with his arms attached, says Red Santi. Papine says the pregnant spider walker thing is awful. We will get to that. Master Varrock says a clone of Horus.
It's still not the worst model in that box. It's still not the worst model in that box.
No, that claw might be the bit of the year, says Sinise. Tomb King Tristan, welcome to the chat. And also, Huckempin donated 100 bits. Thank you very much. And then Chapter Master Varrock says, I prefer Dante versus Abaddon mirror stuff, which is cool. This dude is tossing for tennis ball. And then everyone's saying that the claw might be the bit of the year. I will say the one thing I don't like is his trophy rack on his head.
It does look ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because the old one, it kind of had like 2 rows of spikes running down behind his shoulders. They've kind of made it like a bit of a fan on top of his head.
I get it. I get that that's their thing, is like a rack, but I don't know. They're not really like, they don't add stuff on to be more effectively combative. I just find it a little bit like, ugh. That's unwieldy. I know it's obviously a space game. And I'm already like, how are you reloading your gun?
Through doors.
You're not going to fit through doors.
I kind of
Getting
feel
on the
like
bus,
if you're the
doing
War
that.
Master, you don't need a spike rack with a random Space Marine's head on it to prove you're a big bad boy.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah,
if you're
the,
out,
the
like
big demon sword says that.
Yeah, the big demon sword does the job.
no, and also the son of the claw of Horus is also pretty important, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need anyway.
I feel like you could take. I feel like that isn't a mandatory part though. You could just not put it on the model.
Yeah, just chop it off.
Yeah. And Full Green makes a really good point. I'm always impressed by how clean the skulls are. Yeah.
Yeah, just give him a shine.
And Brian Sparrow says they call it a gun rack. I suppose it's a skull rack.
A
but
gun rack.
Yeah, if someone gave me a skull rack, I wouldn't have enough skulls to necessitate
Owning a skull rack.
Thanks, Nikos. Have you seen Wayne's World, Tom?
Yes.
Oh, nice. You know
Yeah,
the
you
Wayne's
get that
World. You know the gun rack skit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You look concerned.
I'm trying to remember it now because I've watched the first one, but it was like 5 years ago. I need to watch Wayne's World 2.
You do.
All I
Everyone
can
should.
remember is Schwing.
Sure.
And that's about it. Schwing! But
Anyway, yeah, I think it's great, and so obviously Horus will be returning. But as I don't know if his rules are inside, so they've
Horus will be returning, or
not Horus. Sorry,
Abaddon.
So sorry. Please don't get triggered.
He is dead.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I watched the live stream reveal of this the other day, and they did accidentally say Horus, and I was like,
I was going to say, a live stream for just Abaddon's a little bit.
well, I mean, it's
Quick
pretty
about that, make a
important,
video.
really.
Yeah, but it's not like a big FAQ drop or a new edition or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a little bit oversold, realistically.
Yeah, it's like when you see a live announcement, you think, "Ooh, new rules." It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's just,
Yeah.
We need a
tennis
trigger
champion.
command on here. Says Hook up in. Okay, we'll do that. So yeah, so you're chuffed for that? You excited for it coming out? You interested?
I'm actually excited for that because, first of all, it means that it has a bigger base for his 12-inch bubble of annoyingness.
Which is, I'm sure he's going to get some new rules.
But that'd be better.
He's gonna be better. Isn't
He's going to be better. Yeah. Well, he's more swole, so he should get some more wounds,
He's
right?
more
more annoying.
swole.
He's
Yeah.
more swole.
He'll get 10 wounds just so he can shoot him.
As much as I think it's a fantastic model, I'm not overly interested in collecting it. But I will say one of the other things that I noticed about the release, which I thought was cool, and we don't tend to really talk about this much on the show, like models that are released and stuff, is the 3 separate heads. So you can really, and I liked it because he's got such a storied history as a character in the narrative that they've like gone, okay, well, we'll give you a couple of head options depending on your version of what.
They should have given him 13 different head options.
As he gets so deadly more pissed off with
Yeah.
his lack of
Yeah.
ability to do anything.
Shouldn't
They're
they
more
have what,
determined.
did you say 14?
13.
Oh, right, yeah,
So
perfect.
one per.
Well, he's on his 14th crusade
crusade.
because he's going to come and smash Vigilus up. That's the story, isn't it?
What happens to the 13th one?
That was successful, wasn't it?
Well, unsuccessful. No, he's on the 14th, isn't he?
Was the successful.
Well,
one, wasn't
13th was Cadia.
it? Yeah.
So he does, and then another one.
Yeah, eating all the souls in Cadia makes you swole as hell. Yeah, buffs you
Are
up.
they gonna? Is there a narrative reason why he's got bigger, or is they just like he's? Just
Well,
something
the narrative hasn't been released yet.
Okay.
More swole is the effective answer.
Is that the official line?
Yeah,
He's been in the gym for 10,000 years.
Archeon, Colonel Cabbage makes a good point. He's the Archeon, though, of 40k. He will be AP -1 on all of his weapons. He'll just be big but rubbish. So then, and obviously, so I don't think, he's not in the Shadowspear box,
No, he's not.
which I think is super interesting because he might be released as a side model, and they haven't said whether or not they're releasing him as a side model.
Neither will be the Havoc with the Gatling cannon, I believe.
Also true. So I feel that there's, and I still argue that there's going to be a Black Legion Codex. I'm pretty certain. But we'll see. We'll see. But other things that were released inside, there's the back of Horus, by the way, which is cool. I did also
The
see
back of Horus.
the back of Horus. He's just got there's more of his dumb gun rack.
I'm waiting to see this.
Right, but the Havoc. Oh my god, they released that at the bottom, and I
thought
was,
that was cool. I
so
thought that was cool.
so triggered about the Havoc because, and I haven't actually downloaded a picture because it upset me. The suppressors. So inside Shadowspear there is.
Are we talking about the stuff in Shadowspear or the
We're talking about the stuff inside Shadowspear. So inside Shadowspear there is Jump Pack Primaris Marines with an autocannon.
I've got
They're
an
not
official
jump
list of
packs,
names.
they're
called.
Grav shoot.
You get 3 suppressors,
Yep.
which are Inceptors with different guns.
Yep.
You get 10 Infiltrators, which are Intercessors with different guns.
And one more special rule.
Yes.
Yep.
You get 3 Eliminators, which are Primaris Scouts.
With
snipers.
with guns.
With guns.
Oh, they've got different ammo for the guns.
They do. So I've got all this this stuff up here, and then you've got a Vanguard Lieutenant, who's the incel looking thing with the tippy fedora, and then
Red pill all day.
and then a captain with big hips, a small waist, and a whole lot of attitude.
haven't actually transferred that. Sorry, that's
That's fine. That's fine. And then for the Chaos section, you get 10 Chaos Space Marines, 2 Obliterators, 2 Greater Possessed, a Venom Crawler, and a Master of Possession.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the box. And I'd say that I'm medium about... so this fella that you're seeing on the screen isn't in that box, right? He's just a cool dude.
No.
Yeah,
he looks really cool.
He's just...
I really like that style of heavy weapon, because all the Marines that I have, like the Burning and Prospero box, they have a heavy bolter that comes in that pose, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I would say that, like, to me, I was like sold. I don't know what they do, but I want to be in on that.
And he doesn't have an ammo issue.
He doesn't. No, you can see where the ammo is coming from. That's quite important. And most importantly, he also doesn't have a recoil issue.
No,
because he stood with his feet taking the recoil. However, the suppressors.
With the scope on the autocannon, you're going to stick that near my face.
How do you guys? Yeah, how do you guys feel about the suppressors, which are the jump pack heavy weapons squad?
Oh mate, they're horrible.
Yeah, they look silly, don't they?
I thought with the old school jump packs on the flat base where they're not in the air, they looked better. Yeah, I still wasn't a fan of the gun, but obviously that's more looking for advantage. So then you have to like build like a big kind of rock up, so they're the same height. But
so Moon Tyranid loves them.
Moon Tyranid has no taste.
Yeah, agreed. Like, look, you're allowed to like them because it's all your own choices, right? Yeah. But I think that they are so dumb.
My mech guns look better than those things.
I like anime. Like I've liked like computer games since I was a kid. I've seen all style of things. I looked at them and I was like,
I've seen your Instagram name. I know. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, they are some poor models in my opinion. Like the rest of the stuff is like, I love the guy with the 2 knives. He's like, I'm going to a fight with 2 knives. Yeah, I'm about that. But
he looked like he was doing some kind of like dance with a katana, like some weeb that had just been.
I'm not into it. Twitch chat, what do you think? Nikos, do you hate them?
Yeah, I hate them as well.
So the whole show we're against.
We all hate the suppressors.
How do they fly around?
How do they fire? And they're not like constantly being moved backwards.
How do they use their scopes?
Also, why are they part of a chamber? Sorry. Whatever it is, the vote. Why are they part of that? But why is their special rule is you can set them up anywhere? That's the special rule for all those Space Marines. You can set them up within outside of 9 inches. So they have special deployment rules that no one else in the game has. So you're like, okay, great. And then they go, but just in case, we'll give you deep strike, which is worse. Yeah, with 48-inch guns. Which it's like 3
and your counter's moving when you drop.
Yeah, it's 2 overlapping rules for something that doesn't need either of the 2.
Do you want to hear some design trivia?
Please do.
So all of these Primaris Marines have Phobos armor.
Yeah.
And Phobos was the Greek personification of fear.
I think it's Phobos.
Yeah, Phobos.
Phobos
key sounds like something you use to get into a building.
That's a fob.
Yeah, there
Again,
you go.
Phobos.
Phobos. So that's where you get phobia from, and is the offspring of Aphrodite and Ares. And Aphrodite was the like goddess of like love and that and fertility.
Yeah.
She came from lobbing a penis into the sea.
Wow.
And
cool.
She had one with Helios. With Ares, who was the god of war. Yeah. And Helios watched it and snitched.
Oh, really?
He did.
All right, so who's Phobos in this story? Their kid?
The kid of those 2, yeah.
All right, nice. Okay. So it's a Greek god armor.
Yes.
All right, nice. Phobos pattern.
Yes.
But my understanding is their Phobos armor is all to do with like stealth and stuff. That's not fear, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be sneaky, and that's like not. What are we more afraid of than the dark?
But yeah, true.
Got him.
Oh, there you go.
What are we afraid of more than the dark?
It's just a crap saying.
A Space Marine in the dark.
You don't know what's coming out of the dark. It's a Space Marine with an autocannon. Go.
Star Wars X-32 has just said, so, just tuned in and we're talking about the goddess of love. And then Retisanti says Phobos and his brother Demios. But then JBM says, well, it is Ladies' Night. Yes. So that makes loads of sense.
Hence the dick in the sea.
Dick in the sea. Yeah.
Dick in the sea.
And then Flamer Farmer says, I just don't get why any infiltration force would want to use autocannons, which I also...
Well, it's like the Striking Scorpions issue where they're meant to be like sneaky outflanked jungle guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you just hear this chainsaw revving up in the background.
I mean, realistically, if I could infiltrate a tank, I would infiltrate a tank.
Creed?
Well, would you? Because the purpose of them is to normally stand off.
We're going to get into this later.
Let's not get into another tangent.
What I want to know about this, what I want to know about the Marine release is why did they release 10 more Marines with bolters? Like, there's enough Marines with bolters.
Those Marines with bolters have a special rule.
What? The disrupt deep strike thing?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, and someone was on the internet saying how it'd be great into Genestealer cults. It ain't.
No, because they've got that stratagem, haven't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I mean, no.
We'll go into the details.
Yeah, okay, we'll go into the details in a minute. I'll rifle through some model pictures if you guys are up for it. Because next up, I love the Havoc. I thought he was the business.
Yeah, but he's not in the box.
He's not in the box. And I've read the narrative for Demon Engines today, so now we're up to the Spider Monster.
The Venom. Yeah. Are we just going to talk about all the models we hate from this box?
The Venom Crawler. Right, I'm saying it. I like it.
You're mental. How can you like that but not like my Met Guns?
What? Your Met Guns? Yes. I like Met Guns. I don't like you with your hobby.
You don't like me. That's a bit rude.
Well, I don't like the fact that you just kind of found some tat lying around and turned it into an army.
Right, how much effort did it take to get those prizes?
Make some spiders out of this.
Have you got something? Right, done. Come here. Right, has anyone got any blue tack?
Wait, hold on. No, we're not doing it. Red Sunny says Poopy Boy. Looks. And then Longshot Loxy says looks rubbish and the rules are rubbish. He did say some other words.
I don't think the rules are that rubbish.
Star Wars says he likes this model. All right,
Depends on the points.
Moontoned says I like the face. Tristan thinks it's cool. Frank says nerd alert. Sup, dudes.
Also, apparently, I'm a hobby terrorist.
You are a hobby terrorist. The Bionic Ballback. I like it, and mainly because I really like the story of Demon Engines. Because as I was reading it today, I was reading a lot of the narrative behind Demon Engines. I'm super into the idea that could be a direction that they take Chaos Space Marines, which isn't just more Space Marines with different weapons. The concept that they can suck out like souls from the Demon War, and then put them inside vehicles means that they get to make monstrous vehicle hybrids, which
kind of like the Plague Burst Crawler. That's an example of that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I really like that, and I do really like that. I really like the Mechanicum side of 40k. So actually, the concept that they can then additionally add monsters into that is quite an exciting future. Plus, obviously, I've seen Avengers. So they can just make every bad guy from every Avengers movie. I mean, like the copy paste graphic department. The guys like, right, we've done that.
Definitely not
900 of those.
Yeah.
So I like that. Yeah, the Defiler. I quite like all the Demon Engines.
I don't like the Defiler.
I'm okay with the Defiler. I mean, the main issue I have with this is that the top section of it looks like someone's bollock.
What, with spikes on?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
You've been hanging out with Nathan in his club.
Yeah. Although
that's none of your business.
But I think it looks pretty sweet personally. But I can see how it can be. Do you hate it?
I feel
I don't hate it. I'm not in
At
love with
the
it.
bottom of the pile is the suppressors.
Yes,
right?
100%.
Judge it against them.
Suppressors are a 1. This is about a 4.
No, man, it's like a 7.
It looks like a tomb spider with a crystal on the top.
No, it looks so
I could
cool.
get a tomb spider, put a crystal on it, and call it a Velen Crawler.
Although there is a little. Look, if you look at the you might not be able to see it on that screen because it's a bit small, but on the blade there's a kind of like Necron-esque symbol on one of the blades there, which I
see. It's a tomb spider with a crystal on it.
And Alandril says, Jez Gordon on Voxcast this week said they're deliberately exploring more forms and designs for Demon Engines since there's supposed to be all kinds of wacky Dark Mechanicus bullshit. So that could also be a nod towards Dark Mechanicus as a release in the future.
I'd love them to do Dark Mechanicus.
That'd be really cool.
I would instantly.
And that's why I like this model, because I think it's a sign of more Demon Engines, more Dark Mechanicum-y style stuff, and I'm into it. The only thing that I'm against, again, is that dumb spike rack on the top.
What, you like it because there might be something less shit coming in the future?
No. I like the narrative of it, and I like that they've...
But we're not talking about the narrative.
Well, no, what I mean is, I like the model because I think it pushes towards a design mechanic that we're not... Like, we've had a fly... Okay. Yeah. That's a demon. That's a machine, and now we've got a spider that's a machine, and we kind of have like an attack dog that's a machine.
We have to go deeper.
The Defilers? Oh. No, Morlophine, thank you. Yeah, so we've had like a dog wolf style thing, monster. So I just at Helldrake, we've got a dragon.
Are we going to get a cat next?
Can we just not rework the Helldrake rules?
Cat? A cat demon monster. Yeah. All right, deal. What do you think?
Cat? That's just a cat.
That's true. Yes, they are. If Tom hates it, it must be good, says Tomb King Tristan. That's fair. The suppressor looks silly.
Go and buy all of these.
This ruined my day, so Papa Bean's well against it, which I think is okay. Resident Evil, Dark Mechanics, and Men of Iron, 2020 is the year of the machine. That's fair. And then Surf Dibs, oh cool, just in time to the American football helmet, Hermit Crab. So people don't like it. This has really shocked me.
Here's the thing.
Okay, I like it.
I do like the Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah.
I do like the Greater Possessed.
Yeah.
I do like the Obliterators. I really like the Master of Possession. I like the Infiltrators. I like the Eliminators. I like the Vanguard Lieutenant and the Vanguard Librarian less, and I don't really like the Captain. But most of the stuff in there I do like. So we may be going through the stuff that's Galvo, but
no, we're going through
nice
everything.
stuff now,
Like so, Chaos Marine's up next. You guys can see it on the screen there.
Very nice.
I like them.
They're really nice.
I think they're sweet. They look cool, and I'm in.
I'm not sure about the pose on the Aspiring Champion, but
I got to say though, I'm super into it, and I'm like, I can see myself playing Chaos Marines, but I am going to have to just say I'm going to wait for the book, because if they guff, they guff, and I'm not getting into. I'm not doing more Marines, even though they're cool.
For me, those Chaos Marines look too chaosy for me to play them, because I like my Marines just in the neutral zone between good and evil.
Okay.
So you can play them as either.
and I'm a hobby criminal.
Yeah, I'm just an efficient hobbyist.
He's hobby adaptable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is he adaptable enough to use those crystals?
I don't know. That's good.
Well, maybe. I actually used one of those crystals in my Lizardman conversion, so...
There you go.
One thing I'm not a huge fan of the Chaos Marine models is just they're very busy. Like
they always have been very busy.
Very, very busy.
Yeah. Although no spike racks.
No, but they are plenty spiky though, aren't they?
Yeah, but I much prefer Surfer Dibs. Thanks very much for subscribing. I much prefer you see on the Aspiring Champion. He's got the skulls where the kind of vents are.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I'm like, good. I haven't seen a spike with a skull on. Instead, that's like a little bit nicer placement for a skull. Plus, he's got it looks like a plasma pistol in his hand there, Nick.
It does.
Do you guys remember when Dark Vengeance was released?
Yeah.
And you saw the Chaos Space Marines in there and the Chosen, and you thought that's what Chaos Space Marine should look like.
Yeah.
Finally, we've got that.
Well, I also think what's important is if you look at the box set release for 8th edition 40k, where you had you had some of the Plain Marines inside there, when they did actually release the Plain Marine box, which I don't think many people really have bought, but they're a lot more customizable. So I assume that there's going to be a box release of these, and they will be a lot more customizable. I would also, in comparison to like the Primaris Marines, I would much prefer if these guys had like a variety of options. Like they could all have a weapon, like a close combat weapon. They could all have a pretty decent gun.
I think they generally can. Like Chaos Marines have always been a little bit more customizable. Like you can have chainsword and bolter, like you've got there, or bolter, etc. What I want to know is, how do they match up size-wise to the Primaris? Have they upscaled the Chaos ones a little bit?
I feel that they've got to. They're using the warp as their...
They get more swole.
As their reasoning. And I think that's absolutely okay. I think that's fine.
I mean, a lot of the things that we were just talking about there depend upon your definition of customizable. I don't know if you saw that online this week.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a guy that asked if a certain kit was customizable. Yeah. And the official page said yes. And then he said, what the fuck, they're monopose. It's like, yeah, you can still customize them though.
Okay. I think that's just some poor PR work there. That's fine.
It was a bit of a whoopsie.
I like them anyway, but do I like them as much as Swole Fantastic?
What's for Swole Fantastic?
It's about to pop up on the screen.
I
love these guys.
Look at how naked they are.
They are so healthy and
Look
big.
at those thighs. What are these, mate?
If these guys are any good, I'm all in. This is where I'm at. Dumb, big, stupid, 87 guns each.
Look at that assault cannon just strapped to his forehead.
Yeah, look at that. He's just got guns. Also, I read the flesh guns today, and they're decent. They are decent. I'll take that.
I did prefer it when obliterators. They used to have, you could just basically pick what weapon you were firing.
And you couldn't fire the same 1-2 turns in a row.
Yeah, so you could I'm firing las cannons this turn or plasma cannons.
Yeah,
I would kind of wish you had that kind of flexibility rather than it's just a random gun.
Oh, okay.
Personally,
all right, okay.
Because like they have that, like you could be like, I need a flamer this turn. Here's a big flamer.
I'm overwatching with this one.
Yeah.
I like them though.
I do like.
I think they look fucking cool.
I think that one on the left in particular is so silly, it's brilliant.
Yeah, like, and in some ways, I like that. I almost like the plainness of the Marines that we saw beforehand to kind of show how far that they can go.
Yeah,
like it's quite nice. But I think that they look.
I'm the obliterator dart. You can be this big in 10 weeks.
If you serve this god for over 10,000 years, you too can have a gun as an arm.
If you hit the gym twice a day, you can have an inbuilt flamer.
Talking about guys that have hit the gym. Next up is the possessed.
Oh yeah,
they've
been doing just cardio though.
Yeah. But I've got to say, the blitz are just the business in my
mountain climbing.
So I'm all about that. And then you've got also
I like the old school Slanesh claw on that guy on the left.
You've also got, because I'm just rattling through these guys now. You've also got the
I remember seeing this a while ago, I think, and I can't remember where it was from. But
What did you think of him?
I really like it.
Yeah?
I really, really like it.
Oh,
He's a bit slender.
apparently it's 115 points for the Obliterator as well.
So basically what people have done is they've based it off power level.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if we've actually seen a points page.
Also, and I think this is important to talk about as well, obviously the Obliterators, as well as some of these other models, we haven't seen inside Shadowspear, so there's definitely more. There's a codex coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you just have to,
Yeah.
like, there's a codex there.
The thing with the Obliterators is they increase the number of shots they get by 2, so that's a 50% increase. But they also increase the points quite a bit. But they also increase their toughness. So basically, they made the Obliterators more like Centurions.
Yeah.
Which is what I think they were always meant to be. So,
Yeah.
if the power level's anything to go by, of course. And hypothetically, if those were the rules, that's what they might have done.
So the points have leaked, and they are 115 points per Obliterator.
Right, yeah.
So my plan always for a long time was to buy some Centurions and have them as either Centurions or Obliterators for my Chaos. So now I can definitely do that,
So, yeah.
which is cool.
And this guy is called the
Master of Possession.
Master of Possession, and he looks sweet as a nut.
He does.
So really exciting, and loads of stuff there coming out. So there we go. That's so far. Well, there's also the Primaris stuff, but I didn't download the pictures.
Nobody cares about that.
But there's also another bit of news that kind of went under the radar a little
Yep.
bit. And that was to do with the Sisters of Battle beta rules, but were released in...
Can't beat a bit of beta rules.
Beta rules. They were released in Chapter Approved. So they basically compiled their feedback from the beta rules. So the beta test was an actual beta test where they released it to the community played it, and they've got 3 things they want to work on. So one of the things they're looking at is an Act of Faith full rework. So they want to make it more reliable and kind of more like an in-the-moment thing, rather than I do this turn for a double move or what have you. Like a quicken. It's kind of more like you activate my trap card kind of thing, whereas you do something, bang, I can respond with this.
Yep.
Like a stratagem. But also looking at reworking the Exodus missile launcher, because it was very unreliable, because not only did it have D6 shots, it had D6 damage as well. So it was kind of like a custom mega cannon, but for Imperials, which is weird. And then they're also looking at Celestian squads. So they're looking at giving, which are like the Chosen or the Stern Guard of Sisters of Battle. So they're looking to give them a special rule or 2, quote.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what's going on there.
That sounds fun. That's quite interesting. And the thing, and let's not skip past it. So obviously, also they've announced and they're showcasing the Vanguard Chamber of Space Marines. So Tom, the list of things is
The Vanguard Chamber.
yeah. What's in the box? So you've got the suppressors.
Oh, sorry, and the spearhead.
Yeah.
Not the spearhead, the Shadowspear. There
Box.
we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got infiltrators,
Yeah.
which are basically a Primaris Marine stat line, hypothetically. They can combat squad. They have a marksman bolt carbine, which is like a bolter, which on the roll of a 6 to hit is an automatic wound.
Yeah.
They can set up outside of 9 inches of your opponent's deployment zone, outside of 9 inches of enemy
So this is
mobs.
not deep striking. They can
not.
just they have a rule that no one else has.
Yeah.
So they
Scouts,
can.
right?
Huh?
Space Marine Scouts.
And Raven Guard used to. I think.
Right, okay, but their whole army, all of these, including they're just like, they can just all set up. And what do you guys think about
Yeah,
that?
it's called concealed positions.
Well, so Games Workshop went to great lengths around this time last year to get rid of like Alpha Striking Turn 1.
Yeah.
But now they've released a whole army that can do it.
Here's the thing.
Not particularly well, maybe, but
Yeah, they can do it, but I don't know how effective it will be.
Yeah.
Because what you end
What are you
up-
talking about, man? I can put my 48-inch autocannons 9 inches away from my opponent.
I know, great. So you end up with Omni Scramblers, which is the special rule that they have.
Yeah.
That means that your opponent can't set up reinforcements within 12 inches.
Now, that's actually massively impactful. Because as far as I understand it, if I was to jump the boys,
yeah, exactly. Screw
yeah,
that, so.
that counts as setting up.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
It's not as reinforcements.
Okay.
So it comes back to the whole reinforcements argument. Please put that line back in. So
Okay.
that of the FAQ, at least decide. Because unless... Yeah, I had a debate with the TO of Adepticon about this.
Yeah.
And he's a lawyer, so he should know what he's talking about. And it was basically...
I bet he's so good at rules lawyering. Wow.
Unless it specifically states that they count as reinforcements, they don't. Is the line that he was taking. Because if I take the first paragraph, which says any unit that does this is typically reinforcements, it's like, well, that's just arguing via comparison.
Right.
It's not necessarily saying it is reinforcements.
So what you're saying is there currently isn't, in your opinion, clarity as to whether or not you do something that repositions a unit on the board. You think that, like, for instance, a teleport homer from Deathwatch.
Well, so if you're coming in from reserves,
Yeah.
you count as reinforcements because it specifically states in reserves rules that you count as reinforcements.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in things like to jump, it doesn't say you're coming in from reserves, and therefore you don't count as reinforcements.
Mm.
So I can see both sides of the argument. I've changed my mind multiple times on this.
Good.
I'd just like an FAQ, please, so I can know one way or the other, rather than having to ask a TO before every event.
Yeah, I do have to just bar on Saturday. I just have to award him with the show comment of the show currently. He's asking, Tom, do you need the rule to be crystal clear?
Yes.
There's my hat, and it is off to you, good man, or lady, whoever you may be.
So, just finishing off the infiltrator.
Bar on Saturday is one of the James Workshop crew.
Yeah. Oh, is he? All right.
What's on Saturday?
Smash it. That's his name on the chat.
Okay.
It's not a bar on
I
Saturday.
can't see the chat from here. So.
And also, Loki saying anything that's removed from the table, let's not get into the whole conversation. If we think it's not, or Tom specifically, you think that it isn't crystal clear, always check with your TOs on what they have decided the rule is. Yeah. But effectively, anything removed from the table, then set up again, is reinforcement. C space when use FAQ for or spec scan. But there are loads of overlapping.
That's a specific instance.
Yeah, there are loads of FAQs. To jump Dark Matter Crystal, Custodians teleport into a character, Deathwatch teleport home, so there's loads of options. So always check with your TO because, like you said, there are conversations both sides of the fence.
Yes, I've seen both. I understand both arguments on it.
Yeah, I don't understand when people say suppressors look good. And
my genuine, my general principle is, unless I've been told I can't do something, then I can. Let's move on from that. That's a bait right there. For life? Yeah, that's just 40k. Okay, it's in the rules. I need a specific refutation.
That is too much bait. So I'm out.
So just on the infiltrators, very quickly.
Hi, John. Yeah.
Skipping past that, we had the base squad is just a squad of 5, which is a sergeant and then 4, and then you can include 4 more infiltrators and a helix adept. And the helix adept is basically a junior doctor following the squad around. Then on a 5+, he gets a guy back up again in 1 wound every turn,
which is not bad.
It's fine,
apart from their power armor.
Yeah. There you go. And then you also have something called smoke grenade, so you can't shoot, but you become -1 to hit.
I'm against it. Although not bad if you're trying to hold an objective in cover. Like you're like, okay, like I'm on a 2-up save, I'm -1 to hit. Like, you know, I've got my moves.
Yeah. If you could be Raven Guard. As well, you'd be -2 to hit.
-2 to hit in cover, holding an objective.
Eldar levels of.
Or you could just play the ITC and just be in a building and be unshootable.
Yeah.
But although it is specified, I think at Mikey's event, but what it's doing is if you have an enclosed building, it just counts as impassable.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can't hide in.
But again, check with your TOs. Right?
Again, check with your TOs. So the suppressors, everyone's favourite model. Are these rules going to be enough to convince you to take these piles of crap? Probably not.
Are they 5 wounds each?
No.
2 wounds each.
They are Primaris Marines.
2 wounds each. Boom.
Yeah. So they have the smoke launcher again.
Boom.
But you can only use it if the sergeant's still alive.
So I now have got a unit that can deep strike in a detachment that can always be 9 inches away with a 48-inch gun that can now not shoot to be -1 to hit.
Regardless of what you're doing, you're not using half your rules. You then have but it does have.
I want an army of these.
It does have an all-right special rulebook. It's called suppressing fire. So if you kill models with this unit's autocannons, the unit to which those models belong cannot fire Overwatch this turn. The problem is the minimum squad size is 3 and the maximum squad size is 3. You've got 6 shots.
Okay.
Let's see how reliable it is.
It's not the best set of rules I've ever read, but thankfully the model more than doesn't make up for it. So
you've got a good
it swings and roundabouts realistically. Also, Paul Berridge, thank you very much for subscribing via Twitch Prime. And Bryce Burles says Games Workshop is amazing. I agree. I'm going to make this statement crystal clear. Games Workshop is amazing because if they're not releasing a great game that I like or some sweet models I also like, they're making me laugh all day long. Like I think it was someone earlier on in the chat, potentially Brad Glover, who was saying the best bit about Shadowspear has been the memes. The memes of 40k have been great. So far.
There's a funny one of these suppressors, like just above trampolines.
Yeah,
that one was really good.
One of the memes that came from one of the threads that I started is now the banner for competitive 40k, and I can't think of a worse insult.
Damn it! Aladro, expect the gun. You can take larger unit. You can take your larger units once the full kits are out with supporting data sheets.
Well, when the full kits are out with supporting data sheets in codices, that's fine. But with the current rules in the Codex, Adeptus Astartes, Phobos, whatever it is, Vanguard Marines, that is the squad size. So you then move on to the Eliminators.
Wait, hold on. Suppressors are 3 per squad, but there's only 2 in the box.
No, there's 3 in the box.
There's 3 in the box, I'm almost certain, yeah. Even in Herminister.
I mean, you might want there to be 2 because you want to look at as few abominations as possible. But, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Someone did model them on a base. I think if you just put them on a base...
With a proper jump pack.
Well, I think if you just put them on a base, they would look infinitely better.
Yeah, even if it's on like a big kind of rock so that you've got the same...
Well, yeah, if you were to do it so it looked like their wide leg stance was them bracing... much better straight away.
Yeah. Rather than like the Tory power stance on top of it.
Maybe they generally just land and shoot. Maybe part of their firing policy is never fire in the air.
Oh, they never fire in the air. Land then shoot.
Just imagining them doing backflips through the sky, firing with massive.
Maybe they just fire the gun, and that's what makes them fly 12 inches. They're fire into the ground.
Keep firing or you'll fall. So, very quickly, the Eliminator Squad, which is the last kind of infantry squad that we got here. They are Scout Marines with concealed positions, so they can do the 7-9. Camo Cloaks. They are Primaris Marines, so they've got 2 wounds. Minimum squad size free, minimum squad size and maximum squad size still free. And they have sniper rifles with 3 modes.
Really?
All strength 4. So the first one's the Executioner round, which is heavy 1, AP -2 damage D3, and a 6+ to wound, inflict an additional mortal wound. You have Mortis rounds, which are again heavy 1, but this time AP -1, damage 1, but they fire out of line of sight and get +2 to hit and ignore cover.
She's sweet.
So you're hitting on 2s even with a -1 modifier, with that. And then you've got the Hyperfrag round, which is basically just heavy D3, no AP and damage 1.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's potentially...
It is nice you got a couple of different options.
Yeah. And then other characters, they're pretty much just kind of like Primaris Marines, with the exception of their guns.
Is it another lieutenant?
So we'll go to the lieutenant.
Well, no, he's a lieutenant with additions.
Yeah. So
because if you haven't, if you've always wanted a lieutenant in your army, but now and you've bought like 5, and now you're like, okay, but now they've released a better lieutenant. So now you're like, I need 5 other new lieutenants that are better than the 5 I previously bought.
Yeah, it's the power creep of Primaris lieutenants.
That's the only power creep I'm willing to have a discussion about being real.
So the captain is basically just a Primaris captain, except he has Omni Scrambler and concealed positions. He also has a camo cloak.
Oh, nice. Stunty, thank you for subscribing, by the way.
And he also has a gun called a Master Crafted Instigator Bolt Carbine. And if you're playing a game on stream, we expect you to say it.
Every time.
Otherwise we won't know what you're firing. It's a 30-inch range, heavy 1, strength 4, AP damage 2, damage 2, and can target characters. And I wrote next to it, what a load of shit.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, not really.
Oh.
And then you've got the Lieutenant, the penultimate character for the Marines. And he's got a special rule called Knife Fighter, which is 6 to hit in melee are 2 hits, but only for him. And he also has a special weapon to do this with. It's called a close combat weapon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, brilliant. And then his gun is called a Master Crafted Oculus Bolt Carbine. Which is a 2 damage bolt that ignores cover.
A 2 damage bolt that ignores cover.
Thanks to that Oculus.
All right, thanks for that option.
Great.
I'm very happy about that.
And then finally we have the Librarian in Phobos armor, which has concealed positions, camo cloaks, a psychic hood, and can access the obscuration powers.
Yes.
Now, I can quickly just drag you through the obscuration powers.
I would like to hear the obscuration powers, if I'm honest.
First one, Shrouding. So it's basically like Cloud of Flies from the Death Guard book, which is you pick a unit, and that unit cannot be targeted unless it's the closest unit.
Okay.
Which is alright, but...
I read that. I've already read these. Well, I've read that one specifically, and I was a little bit disappointed by that, because one of the things that I really like about the Death Guard book, for example, is that it's got... I think that's a fairly unique thing.
I think it still will be.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. You can only use it on Phobos units.
Yeah.
Are you using that? Are you using that outside of 9-inch deployment or not?
Yeah, probably not. No, it's like, what do you mean, the Phobos? Ability, potentially. Like,
well, it's like using that. If you're using that, this becomes kind of semi-useless.
What's
If
nice
you're
about
not-
that though is psychic power, as opposed to in the Death Guard one. It's obviously it's a command. It's a stratagem, so it costs command points. And
What is it again? You can't target them unless they're
the
close.
closest unit. But with the Death Guard one, it's at least consistent, unless you're playing against Genestealer cult, in which case you know you're baiting out the only Vect they had in the forms of the a plan generations in the making, or you're baiting out with Drakari and you're getting 4 command points out of them most likely.
yeah.
So it's one of those.
I think actually when I come to talk about Assassins in a bit, because so I'll be covering Assassins, Tom's going to be covering Jackals, Nikos, you're going to be covering Hybrid
Metamorphs.
Metamorphs.
Metamorphs. Then actually in conjunction with some Assassins, you could potentially do some stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
options.
So the second one that you have is called Scryer's Gaze, which is a blast from the past again, and that's a 6 to cast, and it allows you to re-roll to hits with shooting and ignore cover, and you can pick one of your units to do that with,
Okay.
which is alright. You then have Temporal Corridor, which is very different to Electro Displacement,
Yeah.
which is 6, another 6, so it's like Quicken, so you can move again, but you have to advance, and when you advance you roll 3d6, pick the highest number. It also says, it's weird specification here, it also specifies that you can't use this on a unit more than once per psychic phase.
Right.
You can't do that anyway.
So,
You
so
can't,
do you think that's a
well,
nod of things to come?
Well, I think they're kind of in like open play.
Yeah,
I think they wrote those kind of rules for like.
okay, I was going to say, can I quicken multiple times?
Well, sometimes they do that, but sometimes it's also a nod, like to future options.
Yes.
Like, so there might be in the future that you have the capacity to do a psychic power more than once in a phase, which is terrifyingly bad decision making. But it could be an option, right?
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
But another blast from the past is Hallucination, so that is a 6 to cast again. 18-inch range, pick an enemy unit, and that unit is -1 leadership and -1 to hit on an enemy unit.
Okay.
Then you've got Tenebruce Curse, another 6, 18 inches, pick a non-fly enemy unit, and they take a mortal wound. Spooky. But they also have their advance and charge rolls halved,
Okay.
which is the big part. The mortal wound is basically null and void.
Yeah. I
But
don't like that for more orcs either.
No.
Do you think,
not fair.
I suppose orcs are the kind of combat threat, realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wait, what can you do on any model?
You do it on an enemy unit.
And what's the distance?
18 inch.
Okay, I mean, you could do it on an Imperial Knight, like slowing down their ability to charge.
Yeah, so it moves 6 inches and then it charges another 6. Not going to touch you.
Yeah, like, so that's actually quite useful, realistically. Like,
Unless it wants to shoot you in the face
well, yes.
with a Castellan missile.
But you can have more than one milady.
And then the final one is called Mind Raid. So it's this is funny. So it's another 6 to cast. It's 18 inches range. You pick an enemy model, it takes a mortal wound, and if you picked a character, roll 3d6, and if that is equal to or higher than that character's leadership, you gain a CP.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent, that 1 CP.
I don't mind
With
it.
all the useful
might
strategies
really need
Marines
it.
have.
You might
Yeah,
really need it for
hey.
that Auspex scan.
You might need for Auspex span or kill shot stratagem.
You mean the Auspex scan when no
Orbital
one can
bombardment.
Or yeah.
Auspex scan when no one can arrive within 12 inches of you anyway.
DeBolt, thanks for subscribing for 15 months and also saying for fuck's sake while he did it. That's I appreciate that
Do you want to
loads.
quickly blast through the chaos stuff?
Yes, everyone's saying also it's really interesting watching Games Workshop open another chamber of Space Marines. What do you think? What?
I want to see a combat chamber because they've released a lot of shooty guys.
I'd like I'd like a
not
chamber
really
riding
combat
dragons.
Yeah,
I think
Dracolines.
Dracolides, yeah,
Someone said
that are also
Jackalines.
wizards. Sorry, Tom, what you
No,
saying?
it's fine. It's something about Jackals. It's all good. So just quickly going into the Chaos Space Marine stuff. The Chaos Space Marines are Chaos Space Marines. The data sheet is very specific about the war gear they have. So it says these many Chaos Space Marines have a power axe and these many have a bolter. Because that's what you get in the box, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So it's Chaos Space Marines. They're not particularly new. We've then gone to the Venom Crawler, which has 10 wounds at toughness 7. It hits on 4s in ranged and in melee all the time. It doesn't degrade on that. Leadership 8, 3+ save. Its movement degrades from 10 to 8 to 6. Its strength degrades from 6 to 5 to 4. And I don't know what the attacks are because I couldn't see it. Because someone... never mind. Anyway, I don't
Someone
know
used their photographic memory to tell you.
Someone's photographic memory had lost some information off the side of the photographic memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was their memory a bit blurry?
That was mostly the chaos stuff.
Someone today was suggesting to me 2 different places to find information at. One, photographic memory sites, and also Russia. And I was just like, this is hilarious.
Russian interference in 40k tournaments.
Yeah. Symbol also wants to point something out here, which I think is fair. One of the Vanguard spells, Psychic Powers, is basically ride from an Aether ability from Vanguard Stormcast Eternals Chamber.
I don't know what that is.
Basically, Tom, this box set is just full of Stormcasts that are blue. That's
So
it.
Stormcast are good and these aren't.
Do you mean in the game?
Yes.
Well, actually, interestingly, the Vanguard Chamber for Stormcast was actually pretty crap, rules-wise, as well. You almost rarely to never see them inside competitive play.
Right, just like Tomb Kings.
Oh, shit. Careful, Tristan will ban you from the chat.
You can't ban me, I've got mod powers. Come at me, dickhead.
So what are we talking about now?
The Venom Crawler.
Okay.
So, don't know what the attacks are. But it does have Soul Flare Tendrils, which are strength used at AP -2, damage 2, and each time you fight, you make 2 additional attacks with this weapon. So if this thing has hypothetically 4 attacks, it will get 12 attacks with the AP -2, damage 2, strength 6 to 5 to 4 weapon, which is not bad.
So it's very much like the the Plague Burst Crawler, or the not Plague Burst Crawler,
Blight Hauler.
the Blight Hauler.
Yeah.
I think that's quite cool though.
Yeah.
Like,
But if you don't want to use that, you can use the Eviscerating Claws,
nice.
which are +2 strength, AP -3, flat damage free.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's alright. It's not too bad.
And what toughness is it?
Toughness 7.
And it's got a 5 up invoke 'cause it's a demon.
Yes.
That's
10
pretty
wounds.
cool.
Yeah. I mean,
And 10 wounds?
10 wounds.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's got something called... Yeah, it's not that bad.
Man.
It's got...
I mean, it looks great. So that's my reason for taking it.
I mean, I'm not going to take it because it looks...
Nikos, what do you
Make your
think?
own conversion, Tom.
Yeah, convert it. Add
If
crystals
I
to it.
convert it,
Convert
then,
it.
yeah, I would run that.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
And then it's got an Excruciator Cannon, which is 36-inch range, assault D3, strength +2, AP -2, damage D3. It also gets a wound back every turn,
Okay.
which is alright.
And it gives +1 to
To-
summoning rolls.
For the Master of Possession, specifically when the Master of Possession is within 6 inches.
Okay.
It also blows upon a 5+, 6 inches, D3 more wounds. So, it is what it is. It's not too bad. I'd like to see what the points are. Obviously, I haven't seen those yet because I've been driving.
130 points.
130 points? How many attacks does it have?
I don't know.
And can you take it in squadrons? That'd be cool to know.
Yeah.
So, that's that one. You then have Greater Possessed, which kind of act like Helverins, because you can take 1 or 2, and when you place them down at the same time, they don't have to be in any kind of coherency, and then they act on their own, like lone wolves.
Like heroes. Like
Like
legends.
So
So
they
are
are-
they characters?
They are characters.
Nice.
So the movement 7, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 3, strength, toughness, wounds, and attacks roll 5, leadership 8, and a save of 3+.
Mm-hmm.
They have demonic mutations, which are strength user, AP -2, damage, D3 close combat weapons.
That's cool.
We've got a 5+ invulnerable save.
Because there's pluses to strength all through this so far. Like, so, but anyway, I carry on.
Yeah, and then they give +1 strength to all units with the same Mark, Legion, and Demon keywords within 6 inches, and that doesn't stack.
Good. Okay.
Alright, there we go. Then Obliterators. They've got-
Oblits.
They've got Oblits. They've got 4 wounds now. Their
Yes.
toughness 5 and
Yes.
strength 5. Their movement 4, and they've got 3 attacks.
And they've got what toughness?
5.
And how many wounds?
4.
And then what save?
2+.
Yes. 5 up invulnerable save or 4+?
5+ invulnerable save, I believe.
Oh.
Give him Mark of Zinch.
Oh, what? With the Mark of Zinch?
We could give him Mark of Zinch, and that would give him a +1 now.
It's a 4+ invulnerable
But
save.
then you wouldn't give the Mark of Slanesh, meaning you can't double fire. There's
Damn
two good
it!
choices. There you go, yeah.
Do I want them to be
This
sexy
is the
or
thing, though.
full of magic?
This is the thing, though, that only becomes
They're
useful.
already sexy.
That only
correct.
The only time that difference means anything is when you're hitting something with an AP of 3 or lower, or better.
Yeah, which is loads of stuff.
High volume of AP -3 shooting.
It's all over the place. I'm sick of it.
So-
I'm sick of the
They've changed their weapons a bit. So their melee weapons are Crushing Fists, which are strength +1, so they're strength 6 in close combat, AP -1, damage D3 in close combat.
Yeah.
So they're like shitty power fists.
How dare you, sir? These guys are beautiful.
I never said they're not beautiful.
Okay, alright,
Right.
fair.
So their guns are 6 shots instead of 4 now.
Aren't they D6 +3? Aren't they 6 + 3?
No, but there's 6 shots.
No, plus D3.
No, you get a D. So your strength is, I believe it's 6. Their strength is 6 plus D3.
I'm about to fucking screw you up, son.
All right,
Get ready. Oh wait, I've read it.
I'm
earlier.
ready to be wrong on rules.
No, it's okay. It's everyone's wrong on things all the time. It's not anyone's problem. I just want to make sure we get it right for the show. That's
fine. That's fine.
That's my main.
So
thing.
I believe it's 6 shots flat. Strength 6 plus D3. AP D3. Damage D3.
Yeah, that's. But I no. Hold on. Its strength is 6 plus D3. Damn it! You're right. You're so right.
I did my research, mate. I've got 4,000 words in this document. We're ready to go.
We just want things to be crystal clear.
Oh no, of course. It's better to double check it, right?
Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Yeah. Hashtag
Spam
crystal
crystals
clear.
in the chat to agree for crystal clear.
But come on, and how many of these do they have? How many of these guns do they have?
They only they have 1 each. No.
No, they don't.
So they do. So if you've got 3, you've got 18 shots.
The obliterators.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because like, if you look at the picture, they're covered in guns, right?
It looks like a castellan.
He does. Right, wait, let's go back. Hold on, let me go find the picture.
Oh, no.
Let's find the picture, and then you could be like, oh, shit. No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Fuck. There we go. So, what's the gun that he has? Flesh metal guns, right?
Yes.
So, that's definitely the one on his arm.
What's the one on its head?
But then he's also got... So, in the picture I'm looking at, that guy's got a heavy flamer, an auto cannon, and a power fist. And in the other shot, I can see a melter gun, a plasma cannon, another gun, and also some bolters.
Yeah, he's got storm bolter, he's got a plasma cannon, he's got a heavy bolter, and some melter guns.
So if I can put 4 flesh metal guns on him, yeah?
That'd be 24 shots. I mean, you can put Marcus Lanesh in it and fire it twice.
Right? This guy's literally caked in guns. That's what the article doesn't say.
Yeah, and then you can put 1 to 3 in a unit, but you only get 2 in the box.
Probably. Pardon me?
You get 1 to 3 in a unit.
Yeah.
But you only get 2 in the box.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad.
Wait, did you get them inside Shadowspear?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's why it's so expensive.
Oh my god, I'm so pumped.
You're going to buy Shadowspear for them.
What? No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and buy them individually.
Good choice. It's almost like everyone else is going to be.
Is where I'll be going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if anyone will sell them though, because they're so beautiful.
People will sell them.
Although I will be able to pick up suppressors for £4 each.
Yeah.
Have you seen
in the charity shops?
Have you seen those JoJo's Bizarre Adventures custodes?
No.
If someone made a Kickstarter for some naked, fabulous Temple Guard warriors that were custodes proxies,
No.
I reckon you could do the same with the obliterators.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why not?
These guys are so cute, man. I want an army of
see
these.
the JoJo's ones.
I just want swole guys.
You should see the JoJo's ones.
Okay, all right.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
So, and then you finally got the Master of Possession. So the Master of Possession is effectively a Chaos Space Marine with 4 wounds, 3 attacks. He knows 2 powers from a Malefic tree, and has a rule called Rights of Possession. So that means Psychers within 12 inches of him suffer perils on any double,
Which is quite cool.
including himself.
Oh.
Good one.
But he's got some cool rules if he beats up a character or if he blows up a vehicle.
I think that's a psychic power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
So-
is... Okay, yeah.
He has a 4 stave, which is +2 strength, AP -1 damage D3. Malefic tree. Not all of these are power value 6. Most of them aren't actually. So first one you've got is Incursion, which is effectively a second summoning.
Yeah.
But you roll 4 summoning dice instead of 3, and you don't suffer mortal wounds as a result of doubles or triples. You will suffer them as a result of casting the power though. Then you've got Sacrifice, which is only a 4.
It's enemy psychers, Tom. The power says enemy psychers.
It states enemy psychers. That's fine. Cool. Fair enough. That's sad. It would have been funny if he'd blown his own head off.
He's not an orc.
Yeah, that's an orky thing.
That's
Sorry,
an
I
orky
just assume
thing
it's
to do.
always an orky thing.
Yeah, he's all about rage to the others, not rage to himself.
Alright, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
like the Primaris Marines.
There we
Constantly
go.
take their helmets off and go, oh, we're so much bigger, but so much less cool than the dudes before.
So, Sacrifice is a cast of a 4, so you pick a model within 2 inches, it takes a mortal wound. Then you pick another Legion Demon model within 18 inches, and that model gets D3 wounds back.
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
Life drain.
Also, if you stab a Warpsmith and take its and give it a mortal wound,
Yeah.
and you're putting wounds back onto a Demon Engine, that Demon Engine automatically heals 3. I wouldn't do that.
I would, because I am all about the Spider Boy.
You can just chase it with a Warpsmith and then heal it,
What if I
and
do
then
both?
sacrifice a Cultist and heal it D3.
So would you sacrifice a cultist, or would you not want to give him some of your own special blood out of your own demon body?
No.
So selfish, Tom.
So selfish, Tom. Why would
He's
you
useful.
bequeath? I suppose he's a chaos sorcerer. He's more than likely.
Yeah, I'm role playing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Then you've got third one, Mutated Invigoration. You pick a Chaos Spawn or a Possessed or a Cult of Destruction, aka Obliterators, unit within 18 inches. If you pick a Chaos Spawn, it can reroll its Mutated Beyond Reason roll, which is the roll you make when you're in close combat, right? That determines how you do. The Possessed can reroll their attacks with Writhing Tentacles, or the Obliterators can reroll one of the dice that they roll when determining the strength, AP, and damage of their weapons.
Ooh.
So that's alright.
If you mix that in conjunction with obviously your command point reroll.
Yeah.
2 rerolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally... Oh, and Obliterators, of course. Yeah, there we go. Mutilators even, yeah. And then the one that you were talking about is the Possession power. That's cast on a 5. So the Psyker's AP on its melee weapon becomes improved by 2, so that 4 stays now AP minus 3. Also, every time the Psyker destroys an infantry character in the fight phase, add a Chaos Spawn to your army and set it up within 6 inches of the Psyker and outside of 1 inch of enemy models.
You still have to pay reinforcement points for
You
that
do.
spawn.
Yeah. And then if that infantry
I bet you don't in the future.
If that infantry character was Adeptus Astartes or Hereticus Astartes,
Yeah.
you can add a Greater Possessed instead. Another in addition is that the Psyker automatically blows up vehicles if it kills one, if they can explode.
Now that's a cool one.
It's cool, but he's gonna die.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't hurt himself.
The explosion doesn't hurt himself.
No, specifically
fair
says that.
Okay, didn't see that.
Yeah, so you can just like.
It's difficult to read that one because this was the really blurry photographic memory.
Right, nice. I
Yes.
think it's just on the community site. I just read it there.
Oh well, I didn't.
Oh, nice.
I read
Use the photographic memory with the blur.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
okay.
used the Bigfoot photographic memory.
Yeah.
So.
And then LLV's making the point in the chat, which I couldn't agree with anymore. No reinforcement points come summer bets. I agree. I bet in the future you just get that for free. A free spawn.
Let's make the games take longer as I wheel a trolley full of demons around the gaming.
Yeah.
But you got to buy more models. So
Yeah,
they
exactly.
don't
So
care how
if I
much
do-
you
I've still got a summoning army from 7.
Oh, okay, good.
So it's alright.
Archeon, thank you for subscribing for 16 months in a row. Square root of 256th anniversary, baby. What a babe. There you go.
Beautiful.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Penultimate power, Cursed Earth. A blast from the past. This used to be OP. It's not anymore.
Okay.
It's cast on a 7. Demon units within 6 inches add 1 to their invulnerable save. To a maximum of 3+.
So I could have my demon. Oh wait, Oblit. No wait, are the Obliterators demons?
Yes.
So they can be Mark of Tzeentch, and then I can cast this on them, and then
It's
I don't
a
think if you're
bubble all within 6 inches.
If you're a Chaos Space Marine, you get Markers each. I don't think that increases your invulnerable save. Chaos Demons of Tzeentch it does.
but then Obliterators aren't demons.
What? From the Demon Codex.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
right,
Mark
yeah.
and then there's whatever it's called. It's still good, but and it does similar to what it used to do. It just doesn't give you a 2+ rerollable and vulnerable save anymore.
But like that would be quite cool.
Sorry, just Colonel Cabbage just said I agree. Space AOS 2 is coming. SPA AOS 2. That's the SPOS 2. Sorry, carry on.
And then the final power is I've written Infernal Power, but I don't think that's going to be what it's called.
Infernal Strike.
Does that mean you can make a toughness 9 great or unclean one?
Where did this come from?
Wait, because you can make a demon
Plus one invulnerable save.
Right, yeah. No.
But you might be able to combine that with the stratagem from the Chaos Demon Codex, where you can put +1 invulnerable save.
Yeah.
Your bloodthirster.
Because you're
Warp
like my
Surge.
bloodletters. If they came down, Warp Surge up to 4, and then that to 3.
3 up invulnerable save bloodletters.
Yeah. You just need something that can keep up with them, I think.
Yeah, but that's still pretty badass.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass. You can get it off.
And what's the range of it? Sorry again.
It's a 6-inch bubble.
6. Oh,
6-inch
Is it
bubble.
wholly within?
Oh,
Yes.
it's a 6-inch bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's.
But you can still do it with some badass shit.
No, I definitely do that with your obliterators sat at the back, right?
They're only 24-inch range normally, but so.
Well, even in the middle.
Yeah.
Toughness
In
5
In
with
the
a 4 up
centre.
invulnerable
And
save
then you're
is
just
pretty decent.
and then you're just surrounded by a blitz. You just got 9 oblits around you going.
Yeah.
You just invented me an army because
Well,
it sounds like you just invented me an army.
I'm not gonna. In fact, no, I can't say that.
Okay.
It's just kind of like you've got your little master of possession, just surrounded by massive swole dudes, firing their projectiles everywhere.
Chapter Faster Railrack has asked to go. Oh, are we done with the psychic powers?
Last one is called
Okay, let's do that and then
Strike
I'll ask
Power.
that question.
So, cast value 6, reroll to hit, and wound rolls of 1 for friendly demon units within 6 inches.
I like that a lot.
That works on your blitz.
Oh, baby. So I think I just saw 2 psychic powers with obliterators there working really well. Little
And
small boys.
that, I think, is that.
I'm gonna get them. I don't. Mate, I'm super. Them or the Havocs. If I want the Havocs to just be like, duh, 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 duh. And I also want them to shoot out. I would say that I would shoot out suppressors out of the sky, but as no one will field them because they'll be embarrassed to use them, they were like. But you know, do you ever get this thing? Because I recently had to show someone my model collection. I was like, "This is Warhammer," and then she was like, "Oh, interesting." And I was like, "Okay, dragon." She was like, "Yeah, I've seen Lord of the Rings. Dragon, I'm into it."
Do
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings have any dragons?
Smaug.
That was a Hobbit. We don't count that. It's shit.
Wow. Okay, we'll move on from that conversation. Strong. I mean, it's not
Does
Star
anyone
Wars, which is
disagree?
more rubbish. But
shit.
we'll yeah, I do. But anyway, but if I had to show her suppressors, that would suppress her.
I don't know. You see that long barrel. It's like, oh.
No. Nikos is into that one.
Right, mate. I'll tell you what. I will trade you some of my mech guns
Yeah.
for, I don't know, something like that big nurgly thing.
Your Met guns?
Yes.
No.
Sure are those.
No, I can buy
Sure
them.
are those.
I will trade your Met guns for this empty plastic vessel.
So, like, when I
Nah.
DJ, I could just get the barman to just save me loads of bottles, and I reckon I can make a better
Drop
Met
pod?
gun. So,
Drop pods.
I'm going to find something in the... Find me a box of models.
Do you know what I reckon?
Over there
Right.
is a box of racks.
Do you know what I reckon we should
No,
do? for
hold
this
on. There's a challenge. Could someone will win? We are now running a competition until next week.
Oh, do you
Tweet,
want to grab
Facebook, or no, it's okay. Like, there's just there is definitely a box of
I can
racks up there.
confirm there is a box of racks.
Yeah, and then Nikos will make sure they get sent off because I'm terrible at that.
Whoever sends
If
in the
anyone
best
can
Met
send
gun.
us a single conversion that looks better than Tom's Met guns, which would be anything, Tom.
No, conversion of mech
Yeah,
guns.
if someone convert a Met gun
I think we
out
should
of
have
anything,
a month-long March competition to see who can send the best scratch-built mech gun.
only if you put up the prize.
And Brad can't know.
Then you can't be part of this.
You just put up that prize. I'm just suggesting different criteria.
I'm out. Nikos is a mega cannon, not an empty plastic vessel, says Loki.
Yeah.
And then Moontoad says, well, I hope everyone hates the autocannon guy so I can buy them all for cheap. Anyway, yeah. There you go.
Yes,
But-
I do.
Yeah, Demon Prince. And also, one of the things that came up today as well, because I was looking at some models for Chaos Space Marines, so I was super excited. Can we talk about the Demon Prince model? And the fact that it's fucking ugly as sin. And that's a model that he's updated.
Is it
so
better than the
much.
metal one with the kind of monopose hunched shoulders?
I don't know. I think it's awful. I actually was looking at it today and I was like, wow.
That's why I've made my own.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Out of what?
I just had like
the axe dude, isn't it?
well, yeah. So I made one of a big Minotaur guy,
Yeah.
big Doom Bull. But my Chaos Space Marine Doom Princes are just. I've used just like the standard Marine body, but I've put a backpack on them, and where the vents come out of the side, I've attached wings, and I've just given them like horns, and I've given them like robes.
Mm-hmm.
You've definitely seen them. I'm just giving them the two talons. You've definitely seen it.
Yeah, I have seen it. I like it.
Yeah, but so my Demon, I've given it a big base, so it's got the same size as Demon Prince, and I've made it quite tall and quite big, so it's a similar size, but the proportions are quite similar to a standard Marine. So, because the narrative behind my Chaos Space Marine Legion is that they've only just turned to Chaos, so their Demon Prince is like only just begun his demon hood. So he's got wings out of his backpack and horns.
Oh, okay.
That's like it.
So like early Hellboy.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Okay, I think thingy that you never see Beast of Chaos very much. That would make a fairly cool Demon Prince, I think, of Nurgle.
Yeah.
But I just saw them today, and I was like, and I looked at it, and I thought, oh, that is really because Games Workshop are knocking it out of the park with those obliterators, not suppressors.
No.
And I actually quite like Need the Space Marines. So far, based on your initial reaction, what does the Twitch chat and what do you two think of the Shadowspear box set and all of the information? Because that's quite a long news section, but there was a lot of it. What do you think of it all realistically, Tom?
6 out of 10.
Okay, like what do you think it's? Do you think it's going to change the gaming landscape in any way, or are you just excited about? Some
I wouldn't
new
be
stuff?
surprised if you see like a small detachment here and there, but I don't think it's going to have like a massive impact. My main judgment on this is kind of the models, I guess, and I like far more of the models than I dislike.
All right, cool. Nikos, what do you think?
I guess similar to Tom, like I don't think Marines needed more Marines with bolters, so they're not going to set the world ablaze. I think it's cool that obliterators have got new models and new rules to go with it. I think they're already being taken by people, so
okay.
I guess they'll still take them.
Yeah.
And
Although
I'm
they
just
just
hoping
changed
for
the slot
another
a bit.
Chaos Codex for some better rules.
Yeah, I think this is
Really nice.
easily going to be a Chaos Codex because where are the rules? They're not just going to release what's his face Abaddon with like a data sheet on the community site. Like he's getting a book. Like that's the facts. Like there's no way that's not happening. Heinrad says, I hope you have fun with your various Marines out of 10. DeBolt says, Camelot says, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting Deathwatch rules for Vanguard. The Hermanist says, suppressor models are terribly bad. So that's a question that we did get asked. But 3 units to go in my Knight army to give me clear charges, I think. Didn't they announce a supplement?
They did. It's Vigilus Ablaze, I think it's called.
Yes, Vigilus Ablaze is
Double check
the
name.
book
Yeah,
that's
Vigilus
coming out.
Ablaze, yeah.
It might be in Vigilus book 2, but I'm almost certain it will be codified into a codex at some point, right?
What's so special about this Vigilus place?
Do I have to say codified into a codex, or do I just say codified?
I don't know. I don't think we need to
Oh, right, nice.
particularly.
I know good at English.
I
speak the good England.
Sorry, what you say? What's so important about the Vigilus
What's
place?
the big deal about Vigilus?
Well, initially it was just a planet, and then it got attacked by a speed war. And then while the speed war was attacking, it turned out that a bunch of Genestealer cults were in there, and then they tried to do their overthrow. And then while that was happening, some Craftworld Eldar turned up, had a fight, and then they were like, oh shit. And then Drukhari were already raiding there, and then they increased the raids. And then some Ultramarines came along, Calgar, and they were like, we're here to fight. And then that's where it settled. But then recently, in that system, there's another planet, and Calgar sent down this group of Space Marines, the Vanguard dudes. Phobos fellas.
Chamber.
Yeah, the Phobos Chamber, sent it down and was like, just go check what's going down there, because like no one's sent us a message. And then they went down and they were like, oh, there's loads of fucking bad dudes here. Like, oh no. They were like, this is terrible.
So basically it's Dawn of War Dark Crusade.
Effectively. And then, but then Harkon, the Herald,
Harkon
The Raptor Man.
the Raptor Man.
Harkonnen.
Harkonnen, yeah. He ended up, he actually landed on the planet that wasn't full of the dudes, and he was just like, in 80 days, the War Master will come, or like, Vigilus will be defeated. And now it's 80 days later, and then they've announced Abaddon. So Abaddon may come and blow up the planet, but then either Abaddon's going to win, and all these new shiny boys are going to lose, or there has to be another good guy to come and defeat Abaddon in the future. Hashtag.
Hashtag Fortnite.
Hashtag who knows?
Hashtag who knows. Hashtag the lion.
But just keep, remember they announced Angron afterwards. And then
Could be Sanguinius.
Russ, and then they, you know what I mean.
Could be Sanguinius.
Rogaldorn.
Or Rogel Dawn. And then Heinrad says basically Vigilus was a party that no one was invited the Necrons to, Nick.
Yeah.
That's true.
No one wants to party with the Necrons.
So in the chat, everyone said 7 some people said 7 out of 10. Hermanist says Vigilus is KD 2.0. And there was a question from Chester Master Valrak, and he did ask, he said, what do we think about the fact that you can't have the new Phobos Marines inside a Deadwatch?
And you can't have them in Grey Knights either.
And you can't have them in Grey Knights. Do you agree with that or not agree with that?
I don't think it really matters too much.
No?
No.
Okay.
I don't really know.
I mean, maybe
I don't think Deathwatch needed the help, do they? They were already quite good. So.
Nor did Grey Knights. They're uber powerful.
See, the thing is when you say the things, you have to at least say sarcasm afterwards if you're going to do it that deadpan. Because some of our American listeners are like, that isn't deadpan enough for me. Be more deadpan, English people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whereas everything that an Australian says sounds consistently like they're being sarcastic.
It's like Finnish people as well.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Easy for ends.
So what do you? So you don't think it matters particularly game wise? Do you think it matters narrative wise, or do you not care?
I'm sure eventually they'll be in a Deathwatch Codex. I'm sure they will.
I'm just really looking forward to Chaos having a more superior faction. Like Imperium is everywhere constantly, and it would be nice to actually. Chaos are meant to be the other bad guys, but you rarely, if anything, see it.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to see that, I think, personally.
You can't have them in Deathwatch because you can't glue on a different shoulder pad on them on a pose model.
Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to it. So let's move on. So I think that's all of the news. Abaddon's out. All those things are happening. There's a box on release. That sounds really funky. Next up, we're going to do rundowns. You guys up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's me.
Yeah? Well, would you like to go? Who would like to go first?
I think I should go after Nikos because Nikos is kind of feeds into mine a little bit.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
All right, Nick, you ready?
Oh,
Or would you like me to do Assassins? Or do you want me to... maybe I could break up the Genestealers with my Assassins in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, can do.
Alright, cool.
An assassin sandwich.
Assassins, which...
So you're going to be talking about some Chapolis, right?
So my rundown
Yep.
is upon. I was initially going to just do it on Metamorphs,
Hybrid
Metamorphs, but once I finished on my notes for the rundown, I looked at the Acolyte hybrids because I remember Tom mentioning, "Are you going to do both?" Because they're basically exactly the same unit.
Same box kit as well.
Yeah, they're basically exactly the same unit. The only difference is one attack and the squad size.
So
And I think the
I,
base size maybe as well.
No,
model
both
wise,
52 mils.
I am crazy about these models.
Yeah, they're really.
I've
cool.
got 110 of them.
Have you got 110 of these?
Yeah.
The Metamorphs.
Haven't you got them of the Neophytes, or have you got them of Metamorphs?
I've got about 100 neophytes as well.
Wow. Okay. These guys are the business, in my opinion, mainly
Yeah.
because of the drill cannon.
Yeah, they've got like, I don't know. I feel like they've got a very retro feel to them. Like a lot of the old, I really love old retro Games Workshop artwork.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like
if I-
Blanche, kind
I'll
of.
see if I can find some while we're...
Not necessarily the Blanchitsu style, but just the old retro
the GC
sci-fi.
cult stuff specifically.
Yes, like there's quite a lot of artwork of like a Genestealer cult leader sat in his chair. He's like a big fat chubby Genestealer.
Okay.
You mean like the Goblin King from
Lord,
The Hobbit?
kind of like that, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
I'll try and find it while you're...
So, well, we skipped over the narrative of Genestealer cults because I read a little bit of that, and they have a really, really cool narrative of how they sort of begin infesting worlds. So, basically, Genestealers. So the Genestealer cults is kind of like a virus that a Tyranid hive world will send forth ahead of it. They're like a scouting force, kind of. They prepare a planet for invasion, which is really cool. So, and how it starts, they describe how it starts in the Codex. Basically, it was saying like one single Genestealer can sneak aboard like a ship or an asteroid or space, some sort of space hulk or like a ship basically, and land on a planet, sneak off, be all sneaky like. He basically burrows down to the bottom of the hive world in the caves or whatever.
The sewers.
The sewers, lurks there for a bit, and then goes up and then nibbles on a few humans and steals them away. And then kind of like the Alien movies, implants something in the humans, and then that gives birth or bursts forth from them. And then they slowly generate different generations of Genestealer cult. And they basically get more and more human as the generations go. So they start off with a pure strain Genestealer, and then you get stuff like the Metamorph hybrids and the Acolytes, and then they slowly become neophytes and then Brood Brothers. And then they infiltrate the culture of the hive world or wherever they are. And then when they get like a signal from the hive fleet, they enact their great plan and take over the world.
They're very cool, I think.
Yeah,
and
I
also,
really did enjoy
there's also a dark majesty to it, because eventually, when the world is taken over, they die.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they'll save us, the Tyranids. And Tyranids are like, I'm hungry for all man flesh.
Yeah.
So, which is it's cool, right? Even if it's like half Tyranid man flesh.
Yeah. And then Metamorphs and Acolytes hybrids are like the early generations, so they're like the second or third generation from the Preaustrian Genestealers. So they're much more like Genestealers than the like Brood Brothers, and they're like worshipped by the Brood Brothers because of their
They're more pure.
Yeah, because they got cool claws and shit.
And bigness.
But they also
bigliness.
So they have like
Bigliness.
3 arms, but so they have like a talon and a claw, but they always have one normal hand, a strong hand, so they can manipulate tools.
A strong hand.
They have a strong hand so they can manipulate tools and
so
work
they have
machinery.
This is my pleasure hand, and this is my stabby
Pleasure
hand.
hand and the stabby hand, yeah.
Yes.
So I put on the screen, I think, the original artwork that you're looking for there, Nikos. But
Oh yeah,
There you
that
go,
kind of
that's
stuff.
good,
I
yeah.
absolutely love that kind of stuff. It looks so cool.
it does look awesome. That's cool.
Very
This
cute.
new
Looks like
system
such
for
a
being
pimp,
able to
doesn't
show
it?
off pictures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's better. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Pull that shit up.
Yeah.
So, Zit rules. Oh yeah, so model. We've covered the models, haven't we? They're awesome as shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like, and there's loads. It's what's really nice about them. I think they're some of my favourite models in 40k. And what I really like about them is they're adaptive. Like they've got a lot of weapon options, which is quite cool. And they're very miney, and they're just really involved. I think I'm into them personally. Again, there we go. You guys can see them on the screen. But some of the weapon options are that's what I'm about personally. Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the hybrid Metamorphs and the Acolyte hybrids.
Also, I'd like a vote from the Twitch chat on what they think of the models out of 10 while we continue.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
So the
what would you give
hybrid-
them, Tom?
8.
Nikos?
I'd give them a 9, baby.
I actually enjoyed painting 100 of them.
Okay, that's tough. I'm also going to give them a 9. Well, and also, you respected them enough to actually buy them.
Yeah, not make them.
This is when I had money.
Oh, right.
Now I don't. I wonder why.
Did you sandwich bag these?
No.
No, you actually
I
painted them.
So where I'm currently working, actually, I used to be the IT technician there.
Yeah.
And I agreed to do it for 2 weeks on a temporary basis, under the proviso that I could sit in the office and paint Genestealers. So
that's
what I did.
sweet.
Yeah. So I did that. It was all right.
All right, nice. Well, yeah. So, Allboy Phil says 10 Brew Brothers out of Nom Nom Nom. Alan draws 10 and 10. Tiny King 10 out of 10. Reset Stanley 7 out of 10. Drew Soulcaller says Tom likes them, so 1 out of 10, but then also an 8 out of 10.
I can really influence the meta by liking the models that are actually good in the game, so people just don't buy them.
And then Greco gives it a thumb. One thumb.
Okay.
All right, continue. So, what do we think about them in the game, Nikos? This is your territory.
So my quick summary of them in the game is they're the unit that Burner Boys should have been.
Oh, what? No way. Disagree. Immediately disagree.
Why do you immediately disagree?
Because they are loads and loads of slam captains in one unit.
They are pretty tasty in combat.
Exactly. That's what I think. They're the slam captain infantry of the space wizards, the evil monsters.
Sweet. Yeah. I fixed this up.
So
Nice.
And Scrivo also says 6 out of 10
What?
6.
because he gave them to me.
Scrivo's harsh.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Scrivo, love you, by the way. Anyway, so you think they're what Burner Boys should have been?
Yeah.
Can they arrive via helicopter?
No.
How dare you? Why
Better.
not?
Better.
Better?
Better.
All right, tell me
better
why.
than a helicopter. Well, we'll come to that. Spoilers.
Okay, spoilers.
So their stat lines: their movement 6, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 4,
Weapon skill 3.
strength 4,
Strength 4.
toughness 3.
Oh, shit. Toughness 3 sucks.
Wounds 1, 3 attacks or 4 for the leader.
Which is so cool.
Yes, please. And then
Yeah.
leadership 7 and 8, and a 5-up save. And the only difference between them and the acolytes is that acolytes.
You just press on the gun.
You guys are listening.
Yeah,
Acolytes, acolytes are 2 attacks.
Yes.
Whereas Metamorphs have got 1 extra attack.
Yeah, but it's all about the acolytes.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's all about the
So
acolytes.
Metamorphs can have a unit of 5 to 10, and acolytes 5 to 20.
Yes.
They've got loads of weapon options. They all come
So,
stock.
FYI, original version of 8th edition 40k came out. I used to run units of 20.
Oh, did you?
I genuinely almost quit playing 40k because of that. So,
Really?
to give you some indication of how I feel about them. What save do they have, Nick?
5+.
What? And they are 2 points each? Not 2 points each. They're
are-
toughness 3,
Toughness 3.
and they're not very cheap.
What were they? They're now
Probably double what they are now.
They're now 7 points per model.
I think they used to be like 14 or something
Really?
insane. Yeah.
Shit.
And I would I would deep strike them, and then they'd be there, and I'd be like, charge, and then like 5
fail.
of them would die to Overwatch,
Yeah.
and then I'd make it in, and I'd be like, oh, this is a little bit underwhelming. But anyway, we'll continue. We'll stop talking about my sad feelings, because I want you to sell me
Is that
these
your
again. 'cause
salty story of the week?
it's we need a graphic for that.
Yeah.
Salty story of the week, and it just flashes by. Okay, deal.
So they've got lots of weapon options. They come with an auto pistol, a rending claw, and a talon, and blasting charges.
They
which
do
are
come with
basically
blasting
just,
charges.
frag grenades.
These models are so fucking good. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, they are.
Because they got little grenade packs. They're like, I see you're a big Imperial Knight.
They're not grenades, they're blasting charges.
Fucking, there you go. Yeah, dynamite. It's like an Old West movie for aliens.
Yeah.
Like Cowboys versus Aliens, the movie that we really wanted.
But they're all cowboys and aliens at once.
Exact.
Together.
You could say they've hybrid metamorphosized.
They have.
Jim 980 says new segment deal. That's fine.
They've got lots of different weapon options, but basically the most important thing is everyone can be equipped with a hand flamer.
Hand flamer?
1 point for a hand flamer.
And it is D6, not D3.
So it's range 6, D6, strength 3.
Whatever. Why do you care? Because you want to do 20 D6 shots?
Yeah, want to do loads of D6 shots.
Well, there's 20 in the unit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
You want to do 20 D6? But a burner boy is strength 4 to strength 3.
Strength 4.
Oh, well, anyway, but we'll move on. So 1 point for the Flamers. Nikos
Yes.
is excited about that.
And you can have a cult icon and you reroll ones. Thanks, man. Ones in the fight phase.
One's in the fight phase.
Yes, you always have that buff as long as you got the icon there.
So what you're saying
phase.
is take the drill cannons as opposed to the Flamers.
No, I'm saying take all flamers.
Okay, all right. Let's disagree more. Continue.
Yeah. So there are a plethora of different characters that can buff these fellas.
Have you not is that all the weapons that they can have?
Yeah, they're all the ones I care about.
No, come on. They've got loads. Haven't they got the rock grinder?
Oh, that's the acolytes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the
Don't do that face
rock
to him.
drill.
Right, rock drill.
Yeah, it's ×2 strength.
Yeah.
AP 3,
Yeah.
damage 1.
Yeah. Which is fantastic. Next up.
You've got a rock cutter, ×2 strength, AP 4, damage D3.
Yeah, pretty good. And
A heavy rock saw, ×2 strength, AP 4, damage 2.
what about the special rule? What about the drill cannon?
The drill cannon.
The rock drill.
The rock drill. So after the bearer has made
get ready.
12d6 for each model that suffered damage from this weapon. On a 2+, the model suffered takes a mortal wound.
Yeah.
Do you keep going?
Yeah.
On a 3, but it goes 2+, 3+, 4+5.
But you can have multiple rock drills in the unit. So
didn't you say that you were massively disappointed and underwhelmed by this?
It was
unit?
incredibly terrible.
You almost quit 40k because of it.
Again,
and now you're getting really excited about it and saying it's good.
Listen, right. Follow me along a story, right?
Okay.
So what you're doing is you've got a bunch of miners, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? And instead of turning up with flamers, makes no sense, right? They turn up with a bunch of rock drills and they're like, welcome to the far future. And then they run up to an Imperial Knight and they're like, all Mortarian, and they're like, see you, big fucker. And then they've got loads of guys who just stood there because they're not really important. But then you've got your 8 rock drills. Yeah, I think you can take 2 per 5.
For every 5, you can take 2. Yeah.
Right? So you've got 8 of them. Hit on 3s, reroll 1s. So very likely to hit. They are strength
8.
Uh-huh.
Wounding on 4s.
Wound on 4. So let's just say they hit with all of them. So they only wound with 4. Yeah?
So you got 2 attacks each. So you got 8. So you
So
got 16.
so you've wounded with 8. Yeah? Minus. It's -2 or -3.
It's -3 for the drill.
So -3 AP. So you basically, Mortarion tries to make his save, makes none of them. Yeah, he already takes 8d3 damage, so basically he's almost dead. Right? But we'll ignore that. You now get to roll 8 dice, and on every 2
The rock drill's only 1 damage.
So he takes 1 damage. So he's taken 8 wounds. Yeah, but then you roll 8 dice. 8 2+, you fail 1, so now he's taken 7 mortal wounds. And then you roll those 7, and 3+, 7 more mortal wounds. Basically, they just drill, and they keep drilling through, and then the whole unit's dead. And then you win the game. And everyone's like, miners,
So why didn't you keep playing GSC the Cults if they're this good?
What would happen is you would land, and they'd shoot you, all your men to dead, and they'd be dead. And all your rock guys would die.
Charge.
And they would not charge, because they'd all be dead.
Yeah.
But, and again, I'd like to emphasise this. It's such a cool idea.
Oh, it's a great idea. Yeah. In theory.
No, in
your
really as well.
dreams.
In really, all you've got to do is make sure you can take possibly 9 to 18 of these units, and then they'll survive long enough to do that. Don't know if you can fit that all in the points.
You can fit in 12. Oh wait a minute.
Wait, with drill
Yeah,
cannons.
full units.
Probably.
All the drills.
I'm sure you could. I'll just work out the points on that.
So that we can attack one unit is the plan.
Well.
And not win the game.
Well, that unit would really die. So.
Okay. And Hook and Pin says, those are some lovely models, and I agree with you so much. I agree with you loads. I love the retro look of the hand flamers. No, Nick.
Ah, I love the retro look of the hand flamers.
Great. Pardon me?
I love the retro look.
And then Ghost Valley, faith in the Star Gods will inspire one to do great feats to impress. I agree. There you go. Anyone's well up for it. And also, they're really excited about the new Lord of the Rings story from Amazon, which is going to be fun.
Or disappointing. One of
Is that the Tolkien movie?
Yeah, no, it's they're going to do a
it's-
series, but
Oh,
they're
yeah,
doing
the
it.
series.
They're doing
Oh,
it based
yes.
on the Second Age.
You're doing Silmarillion,
yes.
boys.
Yeah,
Yes.
Give me that.
and also that's a great opportunity to get into the Lord of the Rings game. But anyway, moving on.
so
Sorry,
nice,
ruining it for you.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there are lots of characters that you can buff these fellas with. But
Specifically, only the hand flamers is what you're
IMO.
saying. This
Yeah.
is actually this is the hybrids only hand flamers.
yes.
Sans any other weapon.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's because...
I'm going to have to put an asterisk on the
it's
podcast.
because I really wanted Burner Boys to have some cool things to do in the Orc Codex, and they got fuck all. So basically...
So you've skipped doing
so
a complete
basically,
rundown of these guys.
I'm doing a Burner Boy rundown that I wanted to do on these. I'm forcing
But pretending
these
it's
guys to be
Genestealer
Burner Boys.
cults.
Yeah.
Why don't you just get loads of burner boys and then change them to Genestealer cult heads? And why don't you play like Orc / Genestealer
I
cults?
could do, yeah. Couldn't I?
Couldn't you?
Yeah, okay.
To see the hobby brains whirring. Because I saw Tom just go, what? Put a crystal on top
No,
of
I'm
that.
getting a bunch of errors on this list I wrote, so we'll have to fix it later.
So go on.
So you got the Patriarch, and he basically makes you auto-pass morale.
Yeah.
Great stuff. You got the Magus, or Magus. So if
That
you
would be good on all my drill cannon squads.
Auto-pass morale,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, because you lose a chunk of them from Overwatch and a
Yeah.
chunk in the combat. You don't have to pay this 2 CP.
Which is great.
Yeah. The Magus gives you a deny on a psychic power that targets that particular unit. You get a Primus, gives you +1 to hit in the fight phase, and reroll wounds of 1 when you deep strike, on the turn that you deep strike when you're within 6.
Yeah.
This guy's my top pick for this Burner Boy unit, Acolyte unit. Sorry.
Why?
Because you arrive from deep strike, you auto hit, and you're wounding on whatever we use, strength 3, flamers, and you reroll 1s to wound.
I've worked out the cost of a 20 model Acolyte hybrid squad with a cult icon and 8 heavy rock drills is 286 points.
It's a lot of fucking points.
How much is it for your flamer boys?
Like 160?
160.
Oh, so it's so much better than yours, though.
No.
Okay.
Disagree.
All right. Sorry. Carry on.
Mine is worth more points, therefore it is better.
Oh, that's
Bigger, so it's better.
Surely that's how points
Bigger.
work, right? So I
Yeah.
can auto pass morale and I can deep strike within 6 inches.
No. So you on the turn that you deep strike, if you're within 6 of the Primus, you get to reroll 1s to wound.
Okay.
So if you auto hit with all your flamers,
Is
you're
that the-
rerolling 1s to wound.
Is that the turn that the unit deep strikes? No, it's the turn of Primus deep
The
strikes.
first time this model is set up on the battlefield,
Yes, it's a
so
Primus.
one unit.
On the
Okay.
turn of Primus deep strikes,
Yeah,
units within 6 inches get
The way
rerolled
I'm
once to wound.
the way I'm gonna be playing it in theory is that they both arrive at the same time,
Right, okay.
basically.
All right. Cool.
You also have an Acolyte Icon Ward, who gives you a 6+ DPR as
Yep.
well.
He's
That's
a cheap
cool.
pain boy,
Yeah.
53 points.
Yeah. So, but basically, there's lots of characters, but my pick for this particular unit is just a Primus, basically, because he gives you that real 1s to wound.
And they're normally going to be winning on 5s.
Or 4s if you're shooting Guardsmen, which is probably the best unit to go for. That kind
Yeah,
of toughest 3 infantry.
whatever.
Toughest 3
Whatever.
infantry.
Toughest 3 infantry. You mean
Yeah.
other Genestealer cults?
Yeah, exactly. That rock drill unit that Rob's going to deep strike on you.
The rock drill unit
And they
wouldn't.
charge
The rock
you.
drill unit wouldn't fight this unit.
do
The
have-
rock drill unit's job is to fight an Imperial Knight.
I do have to say, Genestealer Cult Mirror matchup is really fun.
What? Just everyone's
You
gunning
never
each
finish
other.
the game, but it's brilliant.
Okay.
It's so good.
Okay.
Another unit that I came across, it is irrelevant for this rundown, but the Metamorphs seems
Oh, it's so good.
crazy.
Oh, it's
Why?
so good.
What does it do?
He's got like 6 pistol
Brilliant.
shots that hit on 2s. And
Is this
every
one guy,
hit-
though?
Every hit, you get to do another attack as well. So you can get like 12 pistol shots that can target characters that AP1 damage 2.
What a gangster!
Yeah.
And you can give him an upgrade. You can take a relic for one of them, so one of his pistols are AP -2 instead.
Yeah. So I definitely think we should do a rundown on him at some point.
Metamorphs is one of the
He
best
is
units.
cool as shit.
Is he also a cowboy?
Yes, basically.
He's the McCree Machamp one. But,
What the hell? He sounds amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
All right, cool.
Okay, so creeds.
Yeah.
For my burner boys, acolytes. Sorry. You have 2 that I think are good for the these particular units. I think the Hive Cult Disciplined Militants. So if a unit with this cult creed fails a morale test, you halve the number of models that die, that run away. In addition, you can shoot when you fall back. So particularly good with your hand flamers. You can't lock those down from shooting unless you wrap the unit completely so it can't run away.
Okay.
Totally. So retreat and shoot. That's pretty awesome. And then the Pauper Princes, you can reroll attacks when you charge. So that's okay because they're pretty decent in combat. So that'd be good for your rock drills.
It will be good for my rock drills. Currently available on screen. Look how gangster he is.
He is pretty gangster. So they're the 2 creeds that I think are relevant to this unit.
By the way, you can have You can have the hand flamers.
Yeah.
And the rock drills.
You can have a rock drill and a hand flamer.
Combine our forces together.
And it costs 400 points.
Again, hybrid metamorphosize those.
I know, it costs about 386 points, actually.
So what? Imagine this though. Hand flamer the infantry squad screen. Yeah. Charge the Castellan with the rock drills. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Kill it. It doesn't explode. Basically, the best unit in the game.
Also declare a charge against Gulliman, who's behind the knights.
Yeah.
Fight again with that unit and kill him as well in the same turn.
1 300-point unit. Now, how do you feel, Tom?
It sounds expensive and squishy.
So, again, you were downstairs while I gave you my experience. My experience is what you do is you deep strike them and then they die.
It's a good experience.
It's very valid. only though to everything.
They do get they can get around the not the Auspex can. What is it? 12-inch bump.
Yeah.
The Marines have because you can drop outside of 12 and you use a stratagem to move 6 inches in or d6 inches.
You can probably get a more reliable charge with these guys than you ever have been.
The only problem with that is that you're 6-inch range, so even if you roll a 6 for the advance, you're still not going to be in range.
Well.
Well.
Well,
go on then, Nick. I'll say something.
Well. If only there was a stratagem.
It would not bypass a Marine 12-inch.
Called lying in wait.
Still pretty good.
So use this stratagem when you set up a unit from your army that has the cult ambush ability. And when you set that unit, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches away from enemy models.
Oh.
So 6-inch range is plenty. When you
burn a boy those fellas.
Away.
Just bake them and then drill over them to death.
You can't charge when you do this, though.
Oh, well, you could just survive because you took the screen with a 5-up save.
Speaking of surviving, so
all right, nice.
So
it's like we planned this.
So
can you heroic intervene into combat?
You might be able to, and there is the best warlord trait I think for this particular unit. There wasn't any that are actually that relevant for this unit, but if you take focus of adoration, friendly infantry and back units can heroically intervene within 6 of your character. You have to have your warlord really close though to get that off, so it's not great. But some other stratagems that would help. So if you pop up 3 inches away, you do all your hand flamers, and then you want to survive the next turn because you can't charge or anything like that. Stop being shot. Where is it? Where you gone? Lurk in the shadows.
Always.
So you can. So it's 2 command points.
So I'm not allowed back to Barnsley.
You don't want to go to Barnsley.
Well, even if I did, though, Tom, I can't go there day or night. But continue.
That's not
until the
because
restraining order is lifted. So lurk in the shadows. You can only be targeted in the shooting phase if you're the closest enemy model. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if I just wrap this unit in neophytes, spending more points on them to keep them alive, then I'm on it. Okay.
And also, if so, you pop up 3 inches away, you hand flamer that unit, Next turn, you use lurking in the shadows. You can only be targeted by a close enemy unit. When you survive, you can use cult reinforcements for 1 CP and bring back D6 models to the unit.
Big pog.
Amazing. I mean, I'd never
nice.
sacrifice the drill cannons though.
It's only troops choices that, so you can't use it on aberrants or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and troops is just the acolytes. And then you could use return to the shadows. So basically, you go back into deep strike.
All right, I'm into this.
Pretty
Imagine
nice.
that.
So like
Deep
popping up,
strike,
flame, survive,
drill
run away.
cannon in the night, pop back into deep strike, and then later on you come back and you're like, I'm basically, oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's spend all of our points on this one. I'm not buying the army again, but I might, but I'm not. You also only get 1 drill cannon in a box, so you have to buy so many boxes. I own so many of these.
Luckily, I have many boxes.
Have you got all the spare drill cannons?
Probably.
Let's build the unit.
Build some mech guns
we
out of the drill cannons.
should
can
put
call
a
them-
GC coat on the front of a vehicle.
We can call them dildos.
Yeah, that's what I used to call them.
Slight tangent. Did you guys see the you guys see the Slanesh Knight that someone posted on? It was I think it was on Twitter.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What?
Someone made a Chaos Slanesh Knight.
No, I did not.
And
What was on it?
It had a working dildo on its.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh no, I
That's
did
so
see that.
funny.
That was funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah. Splinter MD says, honestly, I just want to field a unit that recreates the scene from Total Recall, which is basically what I'm talking about. If you've never seen it, where he's like, "Screw you," because there's a bit where the bad guy is driving like a mining vehicle. If you like Genestealer cults, just listen to the podcast or the show, whatever you're doing. Afterwards, watch the film Total Recall, the old one, not the new one. Have you seen it, Tom?
No, but I knew there was a new one.
So the old one is literally Genestealer cults.
Okay.
It's that if you like Jesus Cults, right? You
Yeah,
should
I
watch it, and you'll be like,
Is it on Netflix?
"It's I don't know."
Okay.
It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger in there. If that makes you feel any better.
He's an obliterator.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Get out of my mind. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. You've seen it, Nick.
Yeah,
The bit where in the tank where he's like drilling into the tank. I don't want to spoil it.
I can't remember.
Also, Total Recall, the entire of everything Alex Jones thinks.
I saw that JRE podcast as well, and Every Bravo is mental.
Interestingly, and I don't want to bring this up, but do you know that Alex Jones, a right-wing conspiracy theorist, but also, and most importantly, a mentally ill person that's paraded on the TV for our amusement?
It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly entertaining, but so would be like someone
similar to
who
So it's
couldn't
Jeremy
walk.
Kyle show.
Yeah, it's like we shouldn't laugh, but I've done nothing but laugh all week.
Yeah.
But he starts every sentence with, "Here's the thing," which is what you do, Tom.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Here's
If
the
no one's
thing.
ever noticed,
You do
here's the
do
thing.
it, Tom.
Gasgul's really good.
You start every sentence with, "Here's the thing," and which you're gonna look for that now. It's gonna trigger yourself. Could you move slightly left?
You'll
by
be
the way, Tom?
so
Okay, sure,
conscious
sorry.
of saying
Yeah.
it now.
You're gonna be super conscious.
I'm
of
sorry, I'm going really too fast to the right of the screen.
it. Ma'am, dear, another amazing movie reference that's completely wasted on Rob's guests.
It's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's fine.
My creative genius just outstrips Rob's to a degree where he doesn't appreciate the art that I create.
Here's the thing. I agree.
Here's the thing.
We just crushed Tom. Tom, go back and listen to any show that's not this show, and you'll be like, "Wow, I say that a lot."
I listened back to the Blood and Glory one, and it was more I just couldn't understand what I was saying.
Why are you speaking too fast?
I was speaking very fast, but also I was I was in a car, and the speakers aren't very good. So it is what it is.
Symbol says being stabbed is preferable to having your subconscious speech habits scrutinized. Thing is,
You know what? I'll just keep doing it now. Like it's a Metcon thing. I'll just own it.
Yeah, just own it. Just own
Yeah.
it. That could be your thing.
And I'll be talking about I'll be talking about Blood Angels as like subdimensional paedophile vampires or something.
Yeah, from space.
Yeah, from space.
Yeah, me and
from the fourth
intellectual
dimension.
agrees. sorry, Nick. I've completely overridden this.
You have.
If you listen to the podcast,
With
apologies.
Tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some psychic powers that do some things.
Anything good for the army?
You add 1 to strength and attacks,
That's Might from Beyond.
and you
Plus 1 strength onto my drill cannon.
you can
You
run and
drill it,
charge.
yeah.
You
So
can
I'll be
run and
wounding.
charge.
I'll be
So
wounding
psychic
knights
stimulus.
on 3s.
You would be.
Wow.
Gets better.
Yeah.
Wait until
What, run and charge? I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Psychic stimulus. You run and charge.
This is even before you get to the mass hypnosis, and before you get to the mental onslaught. and mind control.
Well, I've not.
They don't synergize well
They
with
don't
you,
syn- yeah,
but
they
the
don't
entire
synergize.
tree is just really good.
Yeah.
There's so many good powers in there.
What, in Genestealer Cops? You're both... I hate when we do rundowns, because you really make me want to play the army. And I've experienced this, they just all die.
And people accused of being fucking negative.
Like, I'm getting hype as shit right now. I'm like, this is so cool, I'm well into it. Go on.
There's basically just one relic which does something for this unit, where it's the Icon of the Cult Ascendant. Icon would only add 1 to strength characteristic for infantry or biker. So it just makes them a bit more choppy in combat. That's basically it in terms of stratagems and psychic powers and stuff that affect the Metamorphs and the Acolytes. Basically, the way I've been playing them, would be playing them, is probably a big unit of Acolytes. I think they're better for the points. You get more flamer shots.
Mm-hmm.
Pop them up 3 away, shoot all the flamers at some chaff screen, and then survive next turn, hopefully, and then run away again and do the same thing, maybe.
You effectively just want to burn everything.
I want to see the world
How
burn.
much is a unit of full flamers?
160.
160.
Alternatively, Nikos, buy 2
Yes.
units.
2 units, yeah.
Of flamers?
Yeah.
Do
Turn
one,
two,
one
both
after
of them.
another.
What if you just took... Wait, 160 points, you could have 10 units and you've still only spent 1,600
Yeah, but
points.
the number of command points that you're spending.
Yeah, you need 2 every time you pop them up 3 inches away.
Oh, okay.
So you want to.
But you can pop some up and run some more, and they can't deal with all of them.
It depends what you're fighting. If you're running a unit of infantry up the board with a 6-inch flamer, you're going to need a few turns to get there, and they're not particularly resilient, are they?
Yeah.
So
No, they're not. They'll
they're
just
going to
die.
get shot down by all those Phobos bolter chamber guys.
Hashtag sad face.
So
That
and
they
those
can't get in range
suppressors,
of.
and those suppressors when they shoot you kill a few models, and then you
No.
can't overwatch your flamers.
Okay.
Sucks.
So watch out.
Sucks. Alright. Also, the suppressors probably won't be dead because no one will field them because they look fugly as shit.
No, they will field them, and I'll just flick them off the edge.
No, they won't field them because they're gonna put them on the flight stand and then cry when it breaks immediately and be like, "Ah, no."
The worst feeling in the world is when a kid comes up to you at the Warhammer Club with a broken Inceptor. They're glued it in.
And you're like, "How do I fix this?" Like, just stick it on the
I
base.
just say, just leave it with me a minute. Just
Stick
Fix
it on
it,
the base.
take it from them,
Yeah.
and then just throw it in the bin.
I did have a kid throw a
Long
load
shot.
of screws in the bin once. That was sad.
Dude our Days just donated 150 bits. Thank you so much. To send Tom to the cinema or to get him a Netflix account.
I've got a Netflix account.
Oh, smash it.
In fact, I split it with 2 other people, so
Is
it's
it-
like £2 a
Are
month.
you just constantly watching RuPaul's Drag Race?
I haven't watched anything on it in ages since I realised they took Death Note off of it. Not the new one, the old one.
Oh, right, okay, I was going to say.
Yeah. Ugh. That made me angry for a solid 2 hours after watching it. It was awful.
Mum Dad says, I want to see a vulture in One Piece at a tournament one time. That would be quite nice.
A vulture?
Yeah.
It's like the Imperial Guard Fire Raptor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Colonel Cabbage says, use Summer's blips. Let close combat armies run into your wall of hand flamers.
I've had a really good idea for blips for my army.
Yeah.
You see those crystals?
Yeah.
Put them on 32mm bases.
For God's sakes.
That's a blip.
There you go.
And also, Hooker Pin
There's
has
literally
donated...
nothing these can do.
Hooker Pin has
nothing they
donated
can't
100
do.
Nothing they
bits.
can't do.
To send Tom to the cinema trip. If anyone would like us to do a... have you ever seen one of those videos where people watch a film but you only watch the reaction?
You know,
We could watch Total Recall as a 3 and then we could film it if anyone would like to see
there's
that.
a bunch of films that are out of copyright that you can watch. So, what's Reefer Madness?
Okay.
Someone watched that like on a Twitch stream and just like smoked
But we
weed
don't
and
have to...
watched it.
They can just watch us watching it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, Total Recall.
You watch them watching it and just getting drunk.
Yeah, go
Is
for
that
it.
saying?
Yeah, we'll put that up as a Patreon video.
Yeah.
That'll be
The
fun.
other 4 gamer watches.
Yeah,
The
just
Reefer
us
Madness.
3 with Tom going, that's just Genestealer Colts, man! Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anyway. All right,
and, you
done.
don't, and you don't drink, so you get to witness the entire glory.
Are you going to do it? You both going to do it drunk?
of this. Yeah, why not? It'd be more entertaining. And we'd say some bannable offences.
I'm going to do it smashed on painkillers.
All right, so that sounds great. Those
Yeah,
neophytes. Do you think you'd want to collect them if you had an infinite pot of money? Would you collect them soonish?
Yes, because they're really cool models. Yeah.
All right, nice. But do you think they're going to be? Do you think they're going to be impactful in the actual 40k competitive scene?
Possibly, yeah, because really, 3 inches away with loads of flamers is a really quite effective way of getting rid of the loyal 32.
All right, cool.
Yeah, by that point, the command points have been spent.
Yeah.
The damage has been done.
And my salty story of the week is that burner boys on the maths are more expensive and worse at flaming and killing guardsmen than both of these units.
Brilliant.
And they can't do it as well.
Ah, but you're an orc,
you
and you're
can't-
toughness 4,
Yeah. But
and you get in a helicopter.
yeah, but you still can't deep strike and get in range straight away with your flamers. Which
That's
these
true.
which
And
these
when we
guys
played a
can.
game, all of your guys were dead before they ever got within flame range.
Exactly. Yeah, you go. Point
Yeah.
proven.
All right, okay. All right,
If
fair.
burner boys needed something, like I really wanted them to have like once per game, or you double the range of your flamer or something like that. But then maybe on a 2+ they blow up or something.
On a 2+, they blow up.
Well, like there should be some like crazy orky thing where they overcharge their flamer and then they maybe die.
Have you seen Alien or Aliens, Tom?
I've seen the trailers.
Oh my god,
Trailers.
that's what we should watch. Splinter MD is going to be like, it's just said that you're going to be quite shocked at how reminiscent they are of Tyranids. Yeah,
Except they're actually threatening.
yes, that's what everybody called it.
Got 'em. Yeet.
All right, so it sounds cool. Thank you, Nikos, for doing the
There you
rundown.
go. There you go.
We appreciate it loads.
Oh, we didn't really talk about how Genestealer cults ambush and stuff like that, but
It's okay. I've
That's
got it
fine. I
covered.
think there are plenty of ways
There are
to find
plenty.
that out. Yeah, Guard versus Genestealers. No, Guard versus Genestealers isn't Aliens. Guard versus... Oh, it is Alien. Is it? Maybe. But Starship Troopers is Tyranids versus Astra Militarum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Genestealer cults are way more like aliens because of the way they infiltrate societies.
Yeah, okay. That's true.
Why not both?
Yeah. Or like Dark Skies, if you ever watched that. Okay. Whatever. All right, next. So I'm going to do a rundown now, if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
So I looked
Sure.
at the mini codex of Assassins.
Which
that...
we have, the subscriber edition.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Subscriber.
what's
Are you
that?
a subscriber?
I've been subscriber since like 2003.
What
Why?
of White Dwarf?
Yeah, because
Why?
there's sometimes rules in these things.
Okay, well, so one of the things that before we get onto this, before we get onto the rundown of the Assassins, which is cool by the way and really exciting, as stated, the rules are only available and findable in White Dwarf. Which today I was like, okay, I've got to do my notes for tonight. Let's go get it. And I went onto my iPad and I was like, White Dwarf, typed it in, and then I was like, where's?
You have to go on the magazine rack.
No,
Really?
no.
It used to be on the magazine rack.
Yeah, do you know why? In 2018, they stopped the digital print
Really?
Why would
of
you
White
do that?
Dwarf.
Why?
What?
Why?
This is my domain
Do
now.
they
This
hate
is what my
trees?
degree is in.
Huh?
Do they just
Well,
hate trees completely?
Well, you say that the paper for the that is used, the material from the trees that is used to produce paper is actually just waste. So most of the time these trees are chopped down for furniture and other wood products. Then the waste is used to create paper.
Okay.
But also they print codexes, right? Which is loads of paper. Like,
Yeah.
so if I was someone who's environmentally conscious, like, my choice to always get everything digital is always to do with, I want my iPad, and wherever I am, I want to be able to do show notes
Yeah.
or do
This
references
is
and research.
all of my books.
Yeah,
Information is-
I must have, like, I don't know, fucking nearly, like, I must have at least, not £1,000, maybe £1,000 worth of codexes and battle tomes. Obviously, I've got both
Just some
systems.
years, yeah.
Yeah, from everything, and I only buy the digital stuff. So now to know that the only way, so you got that delivered to your house, right, Tom?
Yeah, just pop through my letterbox.
So pop through your letterbox. So someone did point that out to me today and was like, you can just get them mail ordered, which is fine. But with the
I
exception,
don't want to have to carry it around though.
I don't want to have to carry
I
around.
mean, but they could even, like, for example, with the remember last edition where you had like the Data Slate Bellacore or Data Slate some other shit that no one else took.
Yeah,
You could just release the rules for like £3 on the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
That and it's not like, and I would be super willing to pay. And I want to. So one of the, if you go and track like other companies and how they've dealt with like the movie industry and other things, if you look at how they've dealt with piracy, like, so since streaming has become a service, piracy has reduced massively because effectively people are like, I want to pay for this now. Yeah. Whereas if you have something behind a paywall like Hulu or something, those things tend to be like heavily pirated.
You make it more easily accessible, and therefore now people have less of an incentive to pirate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, anyway, I'm sure everyone has photographic memories and
to do
friends
your
on the
rundown,
internet.
did you have to use your photographic memory to do this rundown?
No, I have a very special gentleman who collates all of them. And again, massive shout out to that young Australian man. You know who you are. But I won't. But so I have a gentleman who collates things for my memory.
Oh, okay.
For me.
To organise your memory.
Yeah, to organise my memory. So he's a gentleman. But that annoyed me. And I just thought it was an incredibly poor business decision as well.
Yeah, to remove it is bad. It is bad.
Absolutely terrible decision. And also the fact that it's all ensconced inside White Dwarf as well. So there's like again, I don't mind having to pay for rules. And a lot of the time, like if we're all honest with each other, I really like the narrative of both 40k and AOS.
There's
However,
narrative in AOS.
There is, Tom, don't be like that. Yeah, there is. But also, I often, and especially for the show and being a competitive gamer, I buy codexes or battle tomes initially because I need access to the rules.
Yes.
And it's a paywall I'll happily play. The bonus that I get, so I'll pay 20 or 30 quid for a rule book, effectively. The bonus is I get really cool pictures and I love the artwork. I actually think the best thing Games Workshop does is the artwork.
Yeah, 100%.
I think possibly that's better than anything else.
Camelot 96 just made a good point in the chat, and he says he's currently bringing 3 codices, a White Dwarf, 1 rule book, and a chapter approved to the GT Finals, less books this edition. My ass.
Yeah, which is absolutely fair. And again, another reason I want a digital copy, right? Because I want it all in a single iPad. Anyway, so there's the complaint. And I'm sure lots of people have it, but I think we need to have it also publicly. And I think, again, my reference to rules going into White Dwarf, I think it's an incredibly shit decision to do that. Yeah. Because I think it should just be a digital thing that they release. And you can just print it out yourself, and you buy it for £3.
I'm more interested in why they took it off the online marketplace thing, because it just feels weird to me why they would do that. So I'd be interested in the context around that. It just feels like if it's anyone's loss, it's theirs. But
I agree, and also I'd also Mamdare says it's a fucking Loki says. Okay, let's do Mamdare's first. It's a shame that Model Floggers doesn't give any credit to our artists who make the amazing work. Which I agree with. I think that art sometimes is like one of the most evocative things about the setting. Like
some people who make some really good art, but no one appreciates in this hobby.
Yeah, I would say the thing that makes me want to start an army the most is the artwork. Like when I see a piece of art, like I go, oh fucking hell, I'd really love an army of those. More so than the story, the artwork makes me want to build models and. And
also the artwork normally shows them, because the model, with the exception of even Abaddon, for instance. Abaddon's got a fairly dynamic pose and you can have 3 different heads. However, it's set in stone pretty much that that's how every Abaddon's going to look, whereas every piece of artwork can change the shape of how Abaddon's going to look, so it really tells a story. So I think the artwork's great, and so I love codexes for that and battle tomes. I like buying them. It's one of my favourite bits. I often, weirdly, will just skip the pictures of the models. You know, it's like once I've seen them, I'm like, oh, fuck that. But the artwork tells. Anyway, and someone's saying it here in the chat that that it's because of piracy it was stopped.
I don't buy that.
Well, no, because we just talked about the fact that
we already talked about it makes it more accessible, which means less people pirate. Yeah. But you can also build in systems to these, which makes it very, very difficult to share those specific files around the internet. And also, even if you take them off. As we've already seen, it's very easy for people to use their photographic memories and get get this information pirated anyway.
Right, yeah. And Loki says photocopy pages you want and cut down on books. But
right,
then,
so it doesn't stop piracy then.
But then also, I don't have access to a photocopier. I wouldn't even know. This might sound like before I ever got involved with Warhammer, I have been a nightclub promoter since I was 22. I think at the age of 24, so that would be 12 years ago, or 11 years ago. My office went completely paperless. Apart from the flyers that we gave out, to customers, me and all of the guys that worked for me, I was continuously only ever doing everything digitally because it seemed just superfluous to ever do anything via paper. Even guest lists, we would always do it via just a digital format because why would we ever use paper? Because it's the fucking past.
And even then, you can just, even without a photocopy, everyone's got a phone with a camera on it. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Done.
Anyway, that's that conversation had. We never have to have it again. But it was only today when I hit that frustrating brick wall. I was like, this is just rubbish. And so that's not going to change anything. But I'm sure maybe someone else is sat there painting, going, it does suck. I hate this too. So we're all in it together, right? Would you say that? But Tom, you get it and you pay for the subscription. Would you say that you mind, or like how do you feel about
being a White Dwarf?
or any of it? Like, so you're actually the antithesis of me in this situation. You happily pay the subscription per month to get your White Dwarf,
Just in case there's rules.
Well,
No.
it's not just in case there's rules. I mean, I've had my kind of collection just going, like, stacking up for a while now. I've got quite a lot of it. And you know what? You can occasionally have a flick through, find some cool models, find some cool crystal conversions that you can steal for good ideas. You know what I mean? It's just, you
So
occasionally
how
have good
much you
ideas for
pay
these things.
for one?
It's cheaper than how much it is. I can't remember. It just comes out of my bank account.
Is it $5?
There's so much. It's underneath the $5.
if you buy it for like a year, it's cheaper.
Yeah, and it comes.
And the other articles
so much
are great.
comes out of my bank account.
Like, it's absolutely worth the price, in my opinion, as a magazine.
Oh yeah. Look at this. This magazine is 144 pages.
Yeah, like, I think it's excellent.
And also as kind of like a, I mean,
I just would like it. I would like it. Do you know another reason why, Tom?
Yeah.
Is I like it on my iPad or my digital device or whatever it would be, so that when I want to go and reference something, instead of having to say to myself,
Oh, I left it at home.
"Oh no, not that." Not yeah. I mean, there's that, but then also like, oh, I need the rules about Assassins. Yeah, in 4 years' time, let's say. Yeah, like which copy of White Dwarf was that?
Also, it is kind of fun to go back and just find like an old White Dwarf from 2008 and just be nostalgic.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
But imagine I could do that just on my iPad.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I don't imagine I would have it saved on my iPad for that long because memory full and iPad dies and what have you. Whereas because I've got the physical copy, I can come back and you can smell it. It has its own kind of.
I just bought a 256 gigabyte USB stick for £42.
There you go.
So I think that would contain every White Dwarf for all of time.
Assuming that you're taking photos of every single page.
No, what I mean is like, I think the limitations. Anyway, we're moving on.
I just like the nostalgia of kind of and the experience of picking up a hard copy, and you know what I mean.
I
So,
agree.
This is why places like Waterstones and places like this have coffee shops in them, because they make it more of an experience. Because if you want something that's accessible and something that's cheaper, you go online to Amazon, you buy the book.
And it's why Amazon sell more copies of books than Waterstones do.
Exactly. This is the thing, and they do, but you have to have your own USP, and the USP is making it an experience because you can never compete with them on a price level.
Right. Yeah, it's still more useful for me, especially as a
Oh
gamer.
yeah, of course, but it's
the
about
smell.
what people want.
And the smell. The smell's the thing you don't get,
Sniff
right?
it.
Right, so
it does have its own smell.
the actual story about Assassins, okay? But there we go.
There's
I
a
hit that
timeline
today,
in here, dude.
and I was like, this sucks.
Do you want to read the timeline?
No, I don't want to read the timeline.
Oh, fuck you. You don't appreciate the narrative.
So you guys can see the pictures of the models flying by on the screen there as we get into it. There are loads of special rules, and I can. So there are only 4 assassins. I mean, there probably are more in the Imperium, and they are like alluded to in loads of different stories.
What different types of assassins?
Different types of assassins.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and if you ever want to read some incredibly cool narrative about assassins and the Officio Assassinorum, I'd suggest the Beast That Rises series, because one of the main characters is an assassin and he's in it for a very long time.
Is he one of these 4 types?
I don't know what. I don't think he's any of them. No, he's like the master of assassins. No, he's more like a litigator, I guess. Anyway, so would you like me to read about Vindicare first?
Yep.
Vindicare Temple is one of the temples of the Officio Assassinorum. The motto of this temple is Exitus Acta Probat. The outcome justifies the dead.
What?
The deed, sorry. The deed. Vindicare operatives are the most skilled snipers in the Imperium of Man and are usually directed to assassinate targets who are believed to have been possessed by demonic entities or have been corrupted by the ruinous powers of chaos. There is more narrative, but I'll just stop there. So they're sniper dudes.
And here's one about shoot the Nightbringer in the noggin.
Well, it's okay. It's going along.
Ah, mate, I've got some White Dwarf pictures that I pay £5 a month.
Okay. Next up,
value.
the Calidus Assassin is the all-female assassins, right?
It's even got...
Just like the female Space Marines in the future. Are the most
unnecessary.
subtle of the Imperium of Man's...
No, they bloody aren't.
What? You don't think they're subtle?
No. Never mind.
Are the most subtle of the Imperium of Man's secret operatives, specialising in deceit and the use of artful deception to accomplish their objectives, usually assisted in their bloody tasks by the shape-changing polymorphine drug. The Calidus Temple's devotion to cunning and subtlety is often used on the missions where overt interference by the Imperium is a situation would upset the intricate balance of power maintained by the High Lords of Terror. Are we talking about the same Imperium where they're like,
don't upset people.
yeah, you're like, we've got trade routes, and it's like, oh, by the way, you know where we get the grain from, yeah? I think someone once said the Emperor was gay. Like, cool, that planet's dead now. Yeah, we burnt it to the ground.
Experiment artists.
Yeah, are there complicated political, like...
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there are no good guys in the grim darkness of the far future.
No. So how can you, like, anyway.
Yeah.
A Calidus Assassin is the ultimate weapon against the overambitious Imperial officials that would make a mockery of the Emperor of mankind's justice while appearing to do wrong. Those Imperial or planetary officials that use diplomacy, bribes and corruption to further their position play a dangerous game within the corridors of power.
What, Warhammer?
Yes!
Corridors of people moving their army trays around.
Then next up... Oh, no, that's Discord.
Oopsie.
Yeah, I just pressed the wrong thing. I was just checking the Twitch chat. You guys have to keep an eye on the Twitch chat.
All right.
Next up...
Yeah, our companion's made the same point that I have. Also, Buzz Lightyear's a far from subtle leather-clad looking like to some BDSM.
So next up is the Eversaw Assassin. The Eversaw Temple is possibly the most gruesome of many temples that train Imperial Assassins.
Is he ever sore because his outfit's too tight?
Yeah, that does not look comfortable.
Particularly around the crotch area.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable everywhere, I think.
So that's,
he's got to use a lot of talcum powder before he puts that on. Here he is, Eversaw. Yeah, the
Like
Eversaw,
the face bit isn't white because that's just
the shock of his face of constantly chafing.
it's all the talcum powder.
he's just
I
gritting
bet that's
his
what's
teeth.
in the needle pistol bit.
It's just a painkiller.
Yeah.
Often in the employ of the Imperial Inquisition's Ordo Malleus, Eversaw assassins are used to solve the problems when the undeniable taint of chaos is believed to have spread throughout the ruling elite of an entire Imperial Adepta or planetary government. Yeah.
Fear me, for I am your apocalypse.
That doesn't make any sense.
And then finally,
He's got Abaddon's Claw though, with some drugs in it.
I think everyone's favourite now, the Calexis Assassin.
It's always been my favourite.
The Calexis Temple is one of the most sinister. So the last one was brutal. This is sinister.
Okay.
Yeah, so every one of them is the most of something.
Most of something.
The most sinister and feared orders of the Officio Assassinorum, and the assassins have been described by elder warlocks as nothing short of the embodiments of pure evil.
Pure evil.
The evil empire.
Leader of the evil empire. Even amongst the most the upper echelons of the Officio Assassinorum, this temple is always viewed with extreme caution. The reason for this is not because of the way the Calexian assassins carry out their operation or the heinous methods of killing they employ. It's because of the very nature of Calexis assassins themselves. The assassins of this particular temple are not chosen because of their innate savagery, cunning, or combat skills. First and foremost, potential candidates are chosen to be Calexis assassins because they are born with an extremely rare human genetic mutation called the pariah gene.
So that's where they get the Necron pariahs.
Yeah, which means they have no presence within the warp, unlike other sentient beings, and thus no soul.
No soul.
So Justin Bieber would be one of these. Soulless.
Gingers.
Yeah, that was maybe too easy a kick. I should have gone for something. But anyway, so that's Calexis Assassins, and that's the story. Have you and the Twitch chat got a favourite assassin?
Calexis, because they're really good, and that.
So you only like it because they're good?
Yeah.
Not because of the model?
In the game.
No.
I don't really know. I don't really have a favourite. I guess I think model-wise, maybe the Calexis, the Calidus. I think because that was the first assassin model I ever owned, the Calidus one.
Yeah. Sergeant Rolf likes the Eversaw for the memes. Scriver likes the Vindicar because it's the enemy of Enemy at the Gates. That's right. And then Battlechode said Death Cult Assassin.
Is Enemy at the Gates the Russian thing about Stalingrad?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And Alan Draw likes the Eversaw, and then Symbol says the current model is kind of meh, which I think is kind of okay. Like, I agree with that a little bit.
I'm not a fan of them having scenery on the bases.
No, because it means... Well, this is the thing that I'm doing with my Nighthaunt, and they've got a bunch of tombstones on, and I'm trying to convert them onto lava bases. And I'm trying to work out how I'm going to move the tombstones onto these lava bases, or if I'm going to bother to.
At least you're not living in the AOS world where base size change on a daily basis.
Well, they're all magnetized onto their bases, so it's fine.
Nice. Clever. Nice. All right. Dude, I says Tom has the soul of a computer.
True.
Tom's a hobby pariah. He has no presence.
Yeah, you have no presence within paint.
Wait, I thought a pariah meant an outcast, whereas everyone keeps messaging me and saying, "What the fuck is this?"
You are. You're a. So even within the. So if we let's reread that narrative very quickly, and then I should be able to do this on the fly. Get ready, Tom. I'm so
ready.
sorry.
I'm prepared. Give me that.
Right, so even amongst the upper echelons of hobbyists, this person is always viewed with extreme caution. The reason for this is not because of the way that Tom carries out their hobby.
You've given it a name now.
Or, the way that Tom carries out his hobby. Or the heinous methods of putting them on the table. It's because the very nature of Tom himself.
Right, so it's nothing to do with Met Guns, it's to do with me.
No,
So
I said hobby. I said hobby several times there.
Right, but it's nothing to do with the way I put it together or the way I put it on the table. It's because of me.
Yes.
So it's nothing to do with the models. It's to do with me. So if I were to give you those 18 Met Guns, you would be perfectly okay to run the Warhammer world.
No, never.
Right, so it's nothing. Right, okay, then there we are then.
But I would never be able to hold them because I'm not a hobby pariah.
Right.
It wouldn't work.
Okay.
How did you win Blood and Glory last year?
Hobby score. Also winning all my games. Which is
I mean, you also did that.
Helps, that helps.
Yeah, that helps.
And you're playing Yunari. So.
That helps.
Yunari's actually shit now.
Oh.
It's all about planes, baby.
It's all about planes. All right. So what do you guys think of the models? We were kind of touching on that already. What's your favourite model?
I preferred the older Vindicare model because the current one is like backing up against a pillar, holding his sniper rifle up in the air. The old one was like he was like actually aiming, like a sniper would be.
You also had him point with his gun like that. I mean, his
oh yeah, you had a different version. Didn't you?
I've got that one in
pistol.
Metal. Yeah.
So for me, I actually think the one I prefer the most is the Eversor.
I actually really like the Eversor in the current rules because the stratagems really unlock some potential with that thing.
Yeah, but model-wise.
Yes.
Model-wise, I think he looks really cool, but I also think the Collectors is really fun.
I think he looks too Skeletor for me, but
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But then I'm not a massive fan of the Calidus because I think it's a little bit over the top with certain aspects of it.
Well, just the hair is like so. She's got like this it's like I'm in this full bodysuit, so I'm as tactilely versatile as possible. Giant, ridiculous braid, like
enormous
a Naveen.
breasts.
It says you can whip it around and hit someone in the face with it.
It's so she can stress and pull her braid. Big shout out to all Robert Jordan fans there. Don't know what I mean.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
You read the Wheel of Time?
Don't.
No?
What?
There you go.
All right.
Someone in there is going to be like in the Twitch chat is going to be like furiously pull braid, and they'll understand that. And then Symbol says you're a hobby witch, Tom. And then Splinter MD says what pissed me off is the damn fishermen got stealth suits and the Imperium are still using latex. So yeah, they've got stealth suit body armor, haven't they?
Yeah.
And then the Assassins are just latex leather.
And then they just use it to enhance. Never mind.
But I assume, don't they? They quite often have assassins. I mean, these are kind of more like Warzone assassins. So effectively, you know, like your sniper that you would have as part of like a military detachment. But they also have assassins that are like deep cover operatives. That are your more kind of atypical assassin, where they would like they're going around their day. So maybe underneath their day-to-day clothing, like they might be pretending to be a Magos or like a member of the Imperium. You know, they're rocking these stealth suits.
Yeah, so that there'll be like maybe a military parade. They'll be in their civvies and then they'll just run to a telephone box, dun, 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 and then like get changed into their assassin outfit.
Exactly,
like Mystique from X-Men.
Another film you've seen?
No, my brother used to like them.
Good. All right, excellent. But still a good. And also, Alan Drullid in chat has got my reference, which I appreciate. Thank you. Because you two don't want to ever get my references.
Glad someone did.
Okay. One day I'll just be an old man talking into the TV. I'm like, oh, that's my job. Right, so talking about the rules.
Yeah, I actually like.
Okay, so these guys have got a special kind of codex inside of White Dwarf. So they've got some special rules, and they've got some common abilities. Yeah?
Yes.
So they've got Execution Force. So long as your Warlord has the Imperium keyword, #Cypher, you can include this unit in your army as part of a Vanguard detachment, even if that detachment contains no HQ units. However, if you do so, that detachment's command benefits are changed to none, therefore you don't get any command points. Unless the detachment contains exactly one Vindicator Assassin, one Calidus Assassin, one Eversor Assassin, and one Colexus
It's not worth
Assassin.
it because it's only one command point anyway.
Yeah, well, unless you do want to run all 4.
Unless you just and only all 4.
Yeah, I mean that's not terrible realistically.
I mean, it's not optimal, but
There's no. I agree. I agree with you. I don't
and
think.
therefore it is not good.
Yeah, but I think there's potential. As I've looked through it, I've gone. Do you know what? Like, because the adaptability, as we get to it, anyway, I think it's okay. I think it's okay, not great. I think that's fair. Independent Operative is the next rule. At the end of any of your movement phases, this model can reveal its position set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from any model, so it can effectively deep strike, but not quite. And then that will be at the end of that will be during turn 2 as well, right?
Yeah, or turn 3.
Yeah, or turn 3. This lightning reflexes, they all have a 4-up invulnerable save. Yeah, so we don't have to touch on that again. So they've all got those 3 rules. Which is quite cool. Any interested in the Force Org part of it?
They're all 85 points.
So you're not particularly interested in the fact that you could take would you not like to take all 4?
No.
Especially as they're incredibly expensive models.
Or you just go to Warhammer World and farm them.
What, by going through the £7.50?
Not sure that's particularly efficient.
Yeah, you go to one event.
Yeah.
You play in the event, and then you smash your game so hard you just go round and round and.
Oh,
round.
so you spend the entire. So you spend £65 on a ticket to go to a Warhammer World event,
and then you get some of your money back by getting 4 assassins.
But they only have like 1 per day, though.
They have
don't
1 per
refresh it
day
every time.
and it's
2
all,
assassins.
So 2 assassins. So it's almost actually worth the same. You're right.
Yeah, so
You get a free
it would
dinner.
take you 2 events to get all 4, though.
It would take you 2 events to get all 4, but you would almost.
Assuming you get
Just
different ones each
But
time.
cumulatively, it would only cost you about £20 to attend 2 events.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
when I say all 4, I mean 4 Colexus assassins.
Okay.
Because you can take 3 and summon 1.
Right. Okay. All right. So Force Org wise, you're not interested in taking all of them because you don't think that even though they're of equal points, they're not of equal value.
I think that they're all kind of toolbox units, and therefore you can justify taking any one of them from the summoning, or from the operative requisition sanctioned. But I feel like in every single game, one of them is going to be worth more than the others.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. And then Symbol asks if we've invented a perpetual money machine. We could have. Just
Farming assassins at Warhammer World Museum.
at Warhammer World events. And if you guys don't know what that's a reference to, Warhammer World have their. I mean, how you don't know that and are listening to a Warhammer podcast, sure. Especially this deep into the podcast, but okay. If you go around Warhammer World, you can around their museum. If you there's an assassin hidden, if you spot it, you win a free assassin.
It's in a big room.
I've never achieved it.
I've never achieved it. I've been around there 12 times,
I've
and I
never
worked there for a year and a half.
Because I have enough Colexuses.
I've never achieved it because it's impossible. I think.
Just a random tangent. Mamdir had a question. He was asking what 40k faction is the most close to. I can't remember the name now. One of the factions in Dune. I think the guys in the latex suits. The Hydra.
Isn't it for
suits.
Stroyan? No. There's a Forge World have an actual like sand-based.
Oh, Talon.
Yeah, Talon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we
They
go.
have specific Rough Riders for Talon as well.
Yeah, they do.
But like the hydration suits are very similar to Assassin's.
Can I just make a special shout out
sorry.
to? Can I make a special shout out right now
Freeman.
live to John and Emma?
Yeah.
Congratulations on the child.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, that's
nice.
very nice. Yeah.
Are they
Teach you to
because it's
paint.
born now? Are they going to name it after one of us?
They're going to name it after one of us, but it's up for a vote. It's live on Twitter.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. So, moving on to the actual rules. Yeah. Stratagems. Right. So I'm going to deal with each of them. I'm going to do with the generic stratagems is the way I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to do the assassins and then the stratagems that apply to those assassins. Okay. So,
sounds far too
operative
logical.
requisition sanctioned, an officio assassinorum stratagem. Yeah, this stratagem costs 1 CP if you're playing a match play game, or 3 CP otherwise. And if you're playing anything that's not a match play game, why the fuck do you give a fuck?
Why are you
about
playing
count-
40k?
Why? No, that's fine. Play narrative all day, but why are you
Why is
counting
it
your
cheaper for
CP?
match play?
Huh?
Why is it cheaper? For
God knows. But we'll move on. You can only use this stratagem if your warlord has the Imperium keyword. What about Cypher? Anyone know if there's an FAQ?
Nope.
Got the Imperium keyword?
I will check.
There isn't, because this database that I have access to collates FAQs into my overview.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Screw you,
Fancy.
internet. Yeah, it's so fancy. You can only use this stratagem if your warlord has the Imperium keyword. Use this stratagem during deployment. Add one Officio Assassinorum unit of your choice to your army. Remember that in match play game, you must pay reinforcement points for any new unit added to your army. You can only use this stratagem once per battle. So you've got to keep 85 points. 85 points. Hold on.
85 points.
You've got to keep 85 points in your larder, and then if you get the opportunity, you can use them in the game.
Oh,
So
nice.
this
I
stratagem
think
is
I
obviously.
figured out why it's 3 CP and other apart from match play.
Well, I don't know about match
Well,
play,
match
but
play,
I
you
reckon
gotta
it's
play one
because.
command point,
Oh
one
no, I reckon it's because we're gonna. I can't do it anyway. I would say. So this is obviously super useful because, as Tom says, it's a tactical toolbox, right?
Yeah.
So I basically can leave 85 points out. I'm in the Imperium, and then I can spend 1 CP, and I can be like, cool, I've got a sniper now, or I've got a Colexus now.
Yeah.
I think probably going to be your two
There's a
choices.
toolbox and toolboxes.
Yes,
Well, you can pick a different tool out the box.
oh yeah, it's only one toolbox full of 4 tools. Yeah.
But you only get one of them.
Choose one wisely.
Yeah, choose the one that you want wisely.
Yeah.
So this is great in my opinion, and adds an incredible level of depth. I would like to see something similar for the Inquisition. I would love the ability to just pay 1 CP and stick an Inquisitor in my army, or whatever would be valuable, would be worth the value, right, of the CP. And Imperium are obviously command point rich, so this is fine.
Because they don't use any stratagems, because they're all garbage.
Yes,
Unless
I would argue that I think some of the Astra Militarum ones are actually pretty decent.
Like? Like?
So I like Take Cover. That's quite good on something like Bullgreens.
Which costs how much? Any CP?
1. Grenade belt harness is pretty great.
Really? I've never seen it used.
Oh baby, I used it every single game at the Heats. It's amazing. 96 grenades. Boom. There's your heavy flamers.
It's not like a game changer though, like
No, it's not a
Fire
game
and
changer.
Fade or anything like that.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, 2 CP to keep conscripts alive, for instance. Although
It's all right,
yeah.
but it's not like the Knight ones.
No, that's fair. And you're right. They're usually spent on things like Imperial Knights, right? Next up, priority threat neutralized. Another one is use this stratagem after an enemy character model is slain. This one's great, by the way. An Officio Assassinorum unit from your army, you gain 2 command points or 3 command points if the character was your opponent's warlord. You can use this stratagem once for each enemy character
And
model
you spend
slain.
1 CP to use a stratagem, so you'll get net 1 back. Or net
Yeah,
2
you basically get
or
+1 for killing a character, which is cool, or +2 for killing the warlord. But is really, I would, again, it's a fair point that maybe you're already command point rich and not looking to really farm command points. But put 3 or /4 snipers in your army. You could just be sniping out, especially an army that requires or uses a lot of characters.
I mean, even without that, it's situational, right? If you just happen to kill a character, you might as well use it.
Agreed, right? Because you just generate an extra command point.
Yeah.
So at that point, those are all the generic ones, and I think they're quite cool. I think. They are CP rich unless you take pure Space Marines as low key, which I think is fair.
They still don't really use CP.
Well, if you take some of the Vigilus stuff, and interestingly, if there's even more Vigilus stuff in the new Vigilus book, and what we're talking about is the Vigilus formations, which we did a podcast on before.
Yeah.
You can do some okay stuff with the Vigilus things.
Yeah, you can do okay stuff.
And a lot of that's spent beforehand, so being able to regenerate some back would be fun.
Yeah.
Next up. So we're going to move on to the Vindicare, right? So he has a stratagem. We'll talk about the stratagems and then we'll go back.
Yeah. He has 2 1-point stratagems, whereas
He
everyone
does.
else has a 1 point and a 2 point.
So he's got double kill. Use the stratagem in your shooting phase. After a Vindicare assassin from your army shoots, the model can shoot 1 additional time in this phase. It must be at a different target. He also has Turbo Penetrator round.
I bet he does.
Ooh, baby. Now, he's obviously wrapped up in that very tight lycra, so his Turbo Penetrator is strong. And use his stratagem in your shooting phase. After an attack made with the Exitus rifle by the Vindicare assassin from your army scores a hit against a target there's a vehicle or a monster, do not make a wound roll for that target. Instead, it inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target. If this strategy is used, then the headshot ability does not stack to apply that attack. I wouldn't say this is particularly a big deal, but it is nice to spend 1 CP and do D3 mortal wounds.
And it's nice that, because there's some marine ones like Hellfire around it, similar to this, but you must declare that before you shoot. and it seems like you can just wait until you've hit.
Yeah, you hit and then you go.
Even though you're hitting on 2, but
yeah, you hit on 2 and you're like, actually, D3 mortal wounds. Like, and 1 CP for D3 mortal wounds isn't great, but it does depend what you're shooting at. Things like, things like Mortarion and Magnus, like, it's quite. Magnus is better. A knight that's a character.
Knights, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a vehicle, right? So it's both. D3 mortal wounds for 1 CP probably not that valuable, but we'll see. However, the double kill stratagem is. Now, talking about the Vindicator Assassin, he's the sniper boy. He moves 7. He's 85 points. They're all 85 points. He shoots on a 2. Let's forget combat, even though he's got 5 attacks in close combat.
Really?
5 attacks, which also hit on 2s. He has a 6-up save, but he also has his 4-up invulnerable save. That's important.
Yeah.
And he has 5 wounds. Now, he's got the Exeter's Pistol, which is 12 inches. And it's strength 4, -3, and does D3 damage. And invulnerable saves can't be taken against it, and it wounds infantry on a 2. And that's exactly what his Exeter's rifle does, so his main weapon. But that is 72-inch range. It's heavy 1. It's strength 5. It's -3. It's D3 damage, and if you're shooting at infantry, it wounds on a 2. So he hits on a 2 because he's BS2, wounds on a 2 against your infantry, -3, and doing D3 damage. And then you spend 1 CP, and he can shoot at 2 characters then, which is pretty brilliant.
Those 2 company commanders.
Yeah, man. Like, I honestly, I know, Tom, that and I think it's probably going to be a fair point that the Calexis is probably your all-round best option. But I think
all-round, yes.
But I think this guy has really.
That's not to say that you don't take these.
Yeah, exactly. And I think 3 of these, while quite expensive, is genuinely very, very scary. Especially as you could burn through CP in the first round, and you could overlap because you could effectively be doing 2 shots on 3 characters from these guys.
Especially on armies that are quite character aligned. So a good example is Yunari Eldar, which I don't think is actually that fantastic. Maybe even Planes, actually. So right into Planes. But, although you might get burst down a little bit. So it's fine for taking out those characters because they're quite character aligned. Orcs are quite character aligned as well, but they've got other ways to protect their characters.
Yes.
For example, grot shields. That's another way to do it. But into armies that are quite character aligned, but don't necessarily have too many ways to protect the characters other than by standing in the way.
Drukhari.
Fantastic. Yes, exactly. Drukhari is a fantastic example of that.
Yeah, like, so, and I'm like, sweet, because you can really, like, especially something,
And
like, homunculuses are like the thing that I want to die, and I want them to die quickly, but normally, like, you have to beat up all these grotesque Talis to get them. I'm like, I'll just shoot their eyes out. That's sweet. And also, if you were to double these down, not that I don't think it's a terrible choice, as we talked about before, one of the command, if you took 3 of these, for instance, one of the command point farms that's very viable currently in Imperium builds is adding Cult Mechanicus, so Adeptus Mechanicus into your army, and having the Transonic Arquebuses, which are also pretty good for just shooting at other things, so strength 8, -3, D3 damage, like, and they're so cheap now, and they're in your troop choices, which you're using for your CP farm. So now you've got, like, a pretty heavy Imperium character killing army which can still have a knight. Or a bunch of space, or whatever you want.
So just a quick point on that, because we often see a lot of events that are either 1750 points or 2000 points. If you're running a 1750 point list, if you can find another 70 points out of that list, and then you go to a 2000 point event, you can fit in 3 of these and then have extra 85 points for either a 4th Vindicator Assassin or an extra other assassin.
Yeah, which I think, that's what we're talking about. That toolbox. But I think one of the key bits that when I read this, and why I think these are maybe even better than if you just took all 4 of them in kind of like just in a vacuum, is if you actually look at how you're building an Imperium army, you've already got access to some pretty incredible snipers from Mechanicum. Then doubling down with this, you could like take out the synergy of your opponent army pretty quick. Next up, so then the special rules, which I think is cool. He's also got the blind grenade. It's a grenade, 12 inches, D6. Weapon does not inflict any damage. You're not taking wound rolls. Instead, if units hit by a blind grenade, subtract 1 from hit rolls to attacks made by the unit till the end of the turn, which is not bad in some situations.
No, not at all.
Now, his special rules are Deadshot. This model can target a character even if it's not the closest enemy unit. In addition, each time an unmodified wound roll for 6 is made, it does D6 damage as opposed to D3.
I think the blind grenade is mainly actually for Overwatch, because if you just hit once,
yes,
at D6 shots, it's actually going to keep you alive most likely.
I mean, I agree. I mean, even like if there are some 12-inch range, if there's some orc hordes knocking around.
Yeah.
Like, make it like, if you, I mean, anything -1 to hit's great, right?
Yeah. Because you're not going to be firing your rifle or your pistol on Overwatch.
No. Then faultless aim. If this model, but d6 damage coming from Deadshot. So if you were to have 3 in this list, or 4, your opportunity cost to get that, like to make that happen, is going to be a little bit higher. So especially firing twice. So you're really starting to like, you could be like, oh, actually I've done d6 damage there. Oh, fuck, he's dead. That's cool. Faultless aim. If this model remains stationary in its previous movement phase, always hits on a 2 when firing with ranged weapons, regardless of modifiers.
Ooh, he's a Dark Reaper if you stand still then.
Which is super great. Like, that's really, really cool. So it doesn't matter how many minuses you stack. Headshot. After this model has made an attack with a ranged weapon, roll 1d6. If this model suffered damage from the attack but has not been slain on 3+, it suffers a mortal wound. And then you keep rolling. 4+, mortal wound. 5+, mortal wound. 6+, mortal wound. So shooting twice and having 3 of these now, I think
you'll kill all the characters.
You're really starting to kill the characters, like, really quite fast. Which is just brilliant. And also what's nice is deciding that you're going to shoot again. You're like, I shoot once, I'll shoot again. I shoot twice, shoot again. Actually,
I'll kill the character,
I don't need to spend the rest of the CP, which is cool. But also, if you spend a CP to shoot twice, you then kill the character, you spend another CP, to generate 2 CP back, which means you now have spent no CP for that sniper being in effect.
That headshot rule is new, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's good, right?
It's really good.
Really, really good.
Really, really good.
Spy Mask. Enemy models will not gain a bonus for their saving throws for being in cover. And then also Stealth Suit. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with ranged weapons. But if you put this guy in cover, subtract 2. So he's -2 to hit with a 4-up invulnerable save. And he's a character anyway.
-3 if he somehow managed to hit.
Yeah, he's a character as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, like, long story short, like, and I'm almost going to guarantee that the Calexis is better in every way. But 3 of these in an army is genuinely terrifying.
I think we should have a mini event where everyone has 3 of each assassin.
Each assassin?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just becomes like a weird, like, kind of kill team, capture the flag, Counter-Strike level thing where you're trying to eliminate the other person as a team of assassins before they get you.
Colonel Cabby says, you say brilliant. As a Xenos player, this sounds pretty obnoxious. I agree. I personally think that this is actually pretty devastating. And I think I'm going to put it inside my Imperium army. 3 of them.
I think this is bullshit, and I'm going to use it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so you pretty much like if you wound them, you can potentially do. I think fairly reliably, you do a mortal wound, potentially 2.
Yeah.
Which added onto your D3 damage as an average is 4. So you've almost killed a character.
You've killed a Big Mac.
Exactly, or you've killed a weird boy. You spend another CP from just one guy. And you've definitely killed a character.
And if you're taking 3 of these things, hell, even if you're not taking 3 and you just use a double
you can't
fire.
you can't spend 3. You can't spend it 3 times, can you? You can only spend it once.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
no,
is
that's my fault. So if you've just been listening, I've just said some dumb shit. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying if you take 3, okay, first one fires, you grot shield one of your characters. Fine, you can't use that grot shield anymore. I'm killing the rest of your characters. So
it's pretty cool.
Those, yeah.
Yeah. This is way worse than the Moon on Stick. I agree. This is really strong, and doing the mortal wounds is bonus as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The mortal wound thing is huge because it makes it actually realistic that you're going to kill a character. So if you're doing 2 wounds on the D3 on the shot, which is not unreasonable, you're winning on 2s, hitting on 2s, and then you get an invulnerable save and CP -3, so you're probably failing the save. You're then going to be taking an additional mortal wound and maybe 2.
Yeah.
So you back that up with either a second turn of shooting from the same Vindicare or a second Vindicare. You're getting rid of those.
Yeah. And it's
careful.
-3, so even if they're in Terminator armor, the best save they're getting, so they don't get any bonus for
5+.
cover, is a 5+.
Yes.
So sweet. Yeah, I'm well into these. I think probably right that a Calexis is maybe better, but 3 of these is pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're bad at all. I just really like the Calexis because it's just matched how I've always liked to play the game.
Yeah, I understand that absolutely. I think 3 of these plus my Astra Militare, not my Astra Militare, my Mechanicum is just a fuck you army.
I mean, Mechanicum are actually really good right now.
Exactly, that's my point. Double up. Right, next up, the Calidus Assassin. Move 7, hits on the 2, wounds on the 2, 5 wounds with 5 attacks, 6-up save, but obviously it's got its 4-up invulnerable save. You got the Neural Shredder, which is a 9-inch shooting attack. It's assault 1, and you roll 3d6 each time this weapon scores a hit. If your roll is equal to or greater than the target's unit's leadership characteristics of D3 mortal wounds, which is pretty cool at 9 inches. Phase Sword, which is what you can use in close combat. So with its 5 attacks, is strength as user, so it is strength 4. -3, does 2 damage apiece, but invulnerable saves cannot be taken against it. Attacks with this weapon. So
again, AP -3, but melee.
Yeah, exactly. So even in Terminator armor, 5-up save against. But the tough part there is the strength 4 of the weapon.
Is there any way to like reroll or +1 or anything like that?
So you got some stuff. Let me read through it now. And then you've got poison blades. Each time Sparrow fights, you can make 1 additional attack with this weapon. This weapon wounds on a 3+ unless it's targeting a vehicle, in which case it's 6. And it's AP -1 and does 1 damage. Now it's obviously got 4-up invulnerable save. It's got the same thing that all the rules we read before. And it's got 3 special rules. It's got polymorphine. During deployment, you can set this model up in disguise, and instead of setting it up on the battlefield at the end of any of your movement phases, this model can revert to its true form, set up on the battlefield D6 +3 inches away.
It's like reverse Genestealer cults.
Yeah, so it's either somewhere between 4 and 9 inches away from enemy models. Yeah. For example, if you roll a 4, the model can be set 7 inches from the enemy model. This model can fall back and shoot in the same turn.
And charge,
sorry. And then finally, Reign of Confusion. If you have any models with this ability on your army, this is great. Then during the first battle round, roll 1d6 each time your opponent spends a command point. And on a 4+, you've got to spend an extra CP. Yeah. So Vect would cost 5 command points.
Well, this is more for anti-Genestealer cult. Because if you're spending a lot of stratagems on a single turn, you're getting the extra ones all just stacking up.
I think it's good against like a lot of armies. Like Nikos, we talked about before about you using quite a few command points on your Chaos Marines.
Plasma firing stuff.
I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm saying it's economies of scale. So the more stratagems that you use in a turn, the more value you're getting out.
Yeah, I agree. And also when they're very expensive stratagems as well. Well, no, you're right. It's actually better when there's loads of 1 CP stratagems. Yeah. Because you're doubling the cost. Yeah. But I'm going to go talk about the stratagems you can use for these guys, and then we'll finish it off. So that's the Calidus. So the special stratagems you have are acrobatic. Use a stratagem in your movement phase. Choose 1 Calidus assassin from your army. The model can advance and charge this turn. In addition, so that's movement 7 plus an advance. In addition, until the start of the next battle round, subtract 1 for hit rolls for attacks that target their chosen model, which I think is quite good because realistically, set it up. Yeah. Use the stratagem in your movement phase.
I think
he reveals himself at the end of the movement phase, so you can't use this after you reveal him, right?
No, you can't.
That's a shame. Because I was going to say what's really nice about that is he charges.
Well, you can't advance the turn you come down anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so let's say another turn. It's quite cool to make him survivable the turn after.
Her survivable.
Her, thank you. Don't assume that Assassin's gender.
Yeah. It's got boobs and everything.
Probably is a little bit rubbish, realistically, based on how it's worded. Because I turn up, I charge, I fight you, then I have to survive. The next turn I charge you, I fight you, and now I can spend a command point to make me survive. So, and then you've got Supreme Deception, which is really cool. 1 command point. Use a stratagem at the start of any battle round after the first. Choose 1.
This is 2 command points.
Yeah, choose 1 Calidus assassin from your army. That model's Reign of Confusion, so the ability to make a command point cost more than 1, or add +1 to it on a 4+. Is considered to be infected at the end of the battle round. You can only use this stratagem once per battle.
Yep, so you've got a second turn, but it's a guaranteed turn.
Which is great, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because, like, your opponent might be put off from using all their wombo combos in the first turn. Thinking, haha, I'll get my opponent on the second turn. And you're like, haha.
Well, I think that's also really, really decent against, like, deep striking armies. Where they'll activate a lot of stuff in turn 2, let's say.
Yeah, like if I was using my Bloodletter on my... Oh no, that's not a stratagem. No.
Well, you'd use one of your stratagems would be used before the game anyway, which is the Banner of Blood.
But but some of the other ones you'd spend,
like
right?
Maybe it's like a Blood Angel's 3d6
anything with a Blood Angel in it. Yeah. Or even, you could even use that turn 1 to deter a. If you've messed up deployment and you want to deter a Pawn Wings of Fire, which is where you pick, you smash Captain up, you slap it on the other side of a board as if it deep struck turn 1. If your deployment's bad. But I would assume it's not going to be, so you'd just wait until turn 2 where everything's going to drop and you know they're going to burn all the stratagems.
Well, what's also really nice is that even things, because these often happen in turn 1, is a lot of the command point rerolls. So you use it, so you spend 1 command point, and because how many times have you played someone and they're like, right, I'm in the psychic phase, command point reroll that because I failed it, and now I'm in the shooting phase, command point that hits on a 2. And then the next one. So you tend to find the command point rerolls tend to get used quite a lot.
Here's a good example again. Eldar Psychic Phases. They use Seer Council when they roll a 6 on their Psychic Powers because you need to get a 7 and then you can buff it up to a +1. That's costing double. then once you've used that, you might need a CP reroll. It's costing an extra one as well.
Yeah.
So it's lots of these little stratagems, especially with Eldar, including things like Fire and Fade, Advance and Charge. Eldar use a lot of these little stratagems and don't necessarily have a big pool of command points. So if you can suddenly double the cost of all those, it really shuts down a kind of Yunari turn.
Yeah, and speaking to like you yourself, Tom, and some of my other Eldari friends, I mean, I try to keep them at arm's length when I can, but
No, that's fine. That's not something.
I try to lose them.
Yeah, I try to, but they just hang
convert
around.
them to orcs.
Yeah.
But they do say that Eldar is effectively a CP army, and once you lose the energy,
Yeah, to a degree.
or the dynasty.
The problem is if you overload them with CP aspect by putting in a second battalion or something, what you end up doing is you end up taking away some of the power from the army if you actually end up using all those CP.
Yeah.
So it's a fine balancing act. I mean, it's a case of you need a couple of things to go right, and most likely they will do, but this just throws another spanner in the kind of machine.
I agree. All right. I personally... So now when we look at all these assassins in kind of like, what would I take? And having this in the toolbox, especially against, as you said, Tom, would I initially include this in an army as an assassin? Maybe not. But knowing that I come up against an army... and if let's say I've put 2 Vindicares and a Calexis already in my army, or the other way around as a combo, knowing that I can actually spend my 85 points to go, right, yeah, cool, I'm going to make all your stratagems cost more as well. That can be super impactful.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is really good. And I think is an argument for having it in the army. What it does in the game, as in what it does in close combat, is...
You don't take it for that.
I don't think you take
all
it
of
for
these
that.
Assassins are disruption tools. The question is which kind of disruption you actually want to apply to the game.
Whatever is throwing confetti on people, that sort. Or space aliens that are trying to take over my mind.
Well, actually, I really like I think the most improved award of all these assassins goes to the Eversaw.
Yeah, alright, okay. But overall, Calidus, I think is pretty good, and I agree with you, and I think the reason I would take it is the Reign of Confusion.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that
you
would be
would.
my
That's
reason.
absolutely
Although not bad in combat, not bad. It
But-
can do some stuff.
If you want something to be annoying in combat, you do take the Eversaw.
Yes, absolutely. So the Eversaw up next, movement 7 again, they all are. Weapon skill 2, to hit on 2s, their toughness 4, strength 4. This guy's got 6 wounds, so he's a little more swole than the other fellas. 6 attacks, not 5.
More attacky than you fellas.
Even more attacky, and so that's that. That's all there is. And he's got the 4-up invulnerable save and all this special stuff, as always. So you got special rules. Bio Meltdown. This model is reduced to 0 wounds. Roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model before a movement to the battlefield. On a 4+, it suffers d3 mortal wounds, which is just sweet.
Nice.
It's alright, yeah.
Sentinel Array.
So it explodes.
Yeah, explodes.
Yeah.
Sentinel Array. Each time an enemy unit falls back whilst within 1 inch of this model can be able to make a shooting attack against the enemy unit as if it were the shooting phase.
And it's got a pistol 4 weapon.
Yeah, So weapons-wise, he's got the Executioner pistol, which is a pistol 4, 12-inch range, strength 4 -1, does 1 damage, and you can reroll wound rolls for attacks made with this weapon against infantry, which is all right.
Yeah.
Especially good if you go and fight like a combat character. Well, not a combat character because he'll die.
Not necessarily about fighting, but we'll come into that in a second.
But when you go in, and then he tries to fall out, and you're like, sweet, I'll get you. And then Neuro Gauntlet, strength +1. So this is in combat now. So 6 attacks, strength +1, so it's going to be strength 5. -1 doing 1 damage, and you can reroll wound rolls for attacks with this weapon. It's pretty cool because it's nice. It's strength 5. If it's strength 4 rerolling wounds, it's still good, but strength 5 rerolling wounds is I would say arguably one of the better stats you can have because it means even toughness 8, you wound up 5 rerolls, cool.
Yeah.
And then Power Sword is strength as user, so strength 4 -3 doing 1 damage. So they do slightly different jobs, which is cool. And then you got a Melter Bomb, 4-inch range, strength 8 -4, d6 damage as always. And you can reroll wound rolls for attacks made with this weapon at the target vehicle units. Then Friends On. When making a charge roll, that's right, Friends On.
Sounds like something that'd be incredible.
Yeah, exactly. When making a charge roll for this model, roll 3d6 rather than 2d6. In addition,
Friend zone.
I'm gonna
add 2.
put that character in the friend zone.
Yeah, I'm going to put this character's about to get friend zoned. In addition, add 2 to the model's attacks characteristic if it charged in preceding phase. So 8 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 5, re-rolling, doing 1 damage. It's pretty sweet. -1 damage, or strength 4, -3. That's pretty decent. It chop up a few lads. And then finally, Killing Rampage. Each time an enemy model is slain as a result of an attack made by this melee weapon, by this model, The model can immediately make one more additional attack against the same unit. These additional attacks cannot themselves generate further attacks. In addition, this model can consolidate up to 6 inches.
The in addition's a big poggers.
Yeah, instead of up to 3. Yeah.
That's not the piling, that's just the consolidation. But you do have that stratagem, which is pretty good.
Yeah, let me go up to that.
Yeah.
But let me just talk about that for a second.
That's
So
fine.
8 attacks. If I kill 8 models, 8 more attacks. So this guy can blend through infantry squads or even orc boys or a bunch of other stuff fairly competently. He could be responsible for half of a dead 30-man orc boy squad on his own, which is pretty devastating. And then his special stratagems for just him is
Stim overload.
well, he's got soul horror, isn't he?
Sorry?
Yeah, he's got soul horror.
No, Soul Horror is for Calexis.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah, the Eversoul we're on.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, we are. Thank you. So he's got Stim Overload. Use his stratagem at the end of the fight phase. Choose an Eversaur assassin from your army to fight with, even if that model has already fought this phase. After that model's fought, roll a d6 on 1, 2, or 3. It suffers 1
But
more
it's
wound.
worth noting the piling is still only 3 inches. It's just the consolidation, which is the move after you've made the attacks.
Yeah.
So you'd have to use the consolidation to go around a unit, then use a 3-inch piling to tag another unit. You can't then make attacks against them, so you can't pile any further.
Yeah.
Unless you declare a charge against them all.
Unless you declare a charge. But you can still use the 6-inch consolidation after you've attacked the first unit to try and get closer, but it's not quite as powerful as you think, because you still have to end up closer to the closest enemy model when you do those moves.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly like the 3-inch, 6-inch thing is a little bit more like happens a little bit more in AOS, so people are more used to it, and you can do. But I think in 40k you'll be able to catch some people out, especially the consolidate to lock
shut
in
down something that you don't want to shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, but I also would say that the fact that this thing, like, because the charge, the killing frenzy will still be in effect here.
Yeah.
So realistically, if he can survive against the orc boys, which I don't think he can because of the weight of attacks, but this guy can go through some pretty decent stuff in combat.
It's not necessarily about this, it's about tagging stuff, and then once you've tagged it, you've got the rule that allows people to fall back but take damage because they get shot as soon as they do.
But I think fighting
What's that
twice,
called?
I think this guy could do some pretty decent damage.
He can do pretty decent damage if you want him to. I just quite like this just for tagging things.
Okay, yeah. I think that's fair. And then hyper metabolism. Use a strategy at the start of any phase. Choose one Eversaur assassin from your army. To the end of that phase, roll 1d6 each time the model loses a wound.
That's really good.
On a 4+, the wound is not lost.
Because you charge something that you're concerned about whether or not you can actually hold it up. So, for example, you tag looters. Looters still have a decent number of attacks. You've now got a 4+ invulnerable save, and you've got a 4+ ignore wounds DPR
with 6 wounds base.
with 6 wounds base.
Yeah, he's really, really good.
So you're going to need about 24 wounds through to kill him.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he's great, and those 3 command points that you could spend there, realistically, could actually watch a little 85-point character go through like a big block of dudes. I mean, he would die to the flamers, I imagine, if that's from your Genestealer Colts.
Although you can stay outside of
Very
6-inch
nice.
range and charge 3d6 in, so you can never actually get in range with the flamers to actually avoid.
The 3d6 charge also makes it far more reliable, right?
Yes, 100%. Yes, it does.
So he's great.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And again,
Very, very
the
good.
right tool for the right situation, he might be really useful. I mean, he wouldn't he do pretty well against your bloodletters, Nikos? Or,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, bloodletters aren't that
No,
durable.
No,
are they?
not at all.
Yeah.
Let's just see what
Unless
we
you
got.
give him Warp Surge and then the new Chaos Malefic Psychic Power.
That's quite expensive.
3
isn't
plus
it?
invulnerable save.
If he's locked in with 2 units, I assume he can't shoot on the first unit that falls back. That's a great question. If he can,
Depends what time it activates, right?
yeah.
'Cause if
Yeah,
it's a
you'd
pistol,
activate
you
it
can
that way.
shoot.
If he's in combat, he can't. Well, you can shoot a pistol when you're still in combat, can't you?
But only into the unit you're in combat with.
Right, exactly. So you won't be able to.
Right, and last up, the Calexis Assassin. Potentially, and the thing you'll have seen the most already. But
Yeah.
there we go. So Calexis Assassin moves 7 inches, as always, hits on 2s, wounds on 2s, WS and BS. Strength 4, toughness 4, 5 wounds, only 4 attacks, and has always got the 4-up invulnerable save. So Abomination, this model can never be targeted or affected by psychic powers in any way. Psychos that are within 18 inches of a Calexis Assassin must subtract 2 from psychic tests and deny the witch test they take.
But it's mainly stick him in the front. You cannot smite.
No, but also the -2 is cool.
It is cool.
The -2 is particularly cool, I would say, especially if you could double that up with other minuses to cast.
It wouldn't force perils though, because
No, but still -3 is like, because a lot of the powers in 40k are between 6s and 7s.
yes, and now you're forcing it onto 9s and 10s,
which is like that's a big percentage jump in your viability. I don't tend to find lots of people rely on psychic powers in 40k, and that's because of the preferential kind of like way that the stats all. I can definitely do something with a command point.
The army that I took to Blood and Glory relied on a psychic power, relied on warp time, but the army was built in such a way that I could almost guarantee it went off.
Yeah,
I had so many bonuses to cast.
Yeah,
and I thought that was kind of like the Blood and Glory meta, where we had a lot of these armies which were just reliant upon specific psychic powers.
But my argument is, because this is something that's been seen in AOS as well, like we had a long conversation about like things that definitely can happen, stratagems, versus, and at the very furthest end is then psychic powers, because you've got, number one, you've got to cast it, and then your ability to the opponent to shut it down. But the I like that -2, although people don't tend to use it as much. And then life drain, saving throws cannot be made for attacks made with melee weapons by this model, unless they are invulnerable saving throws. So you get in runs, but you don't get armor saves, which is pretty cool. Ethereum, attacks that target this model are resolved as if attacking model had a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 6+.
It's so funny.
It's so good.
So funny. The only exception is Dark Reapers, because there was an FAQ about this, whereby Dark Reapers rule overrode this rule.
That's really interesting, actually.
Because Dark Reapers are good.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
Oh, does that mean also would in a fist fight would a Vindicare's shot?
They haven't
override?
FAQ'd it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because technically it's not a modifier.
Oh, that's interesting. And then Psychic Assassin, attacks made by this model can target the character that is a Psyker, even if it's not the closest enemy unit. In addition, this model can make an attack with its Psych Out Grenade in the same phase that it uses its Animus Speculum. So as to its weapons, it's got Animus Speculum and Psych Out Grenade. Animus Speculum is 18 inches, it's Assault D3, it's Strength 5, it's -4, and it's got damage of 1. And this changes its weapons type to Assault D6 when the enemy Psychers within 18 inches. So enemy Psychers basically going to take Assault D6, AP -4, damage 1 shots to them that hit on 2s.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. So most Psychers depend. Like I think you'll be doing, it'll be like 2s then 3s with -4.
Not a lot of Psychers are tough unless they're like.
No, like you get to demon, but then you're like at the monster sort of demon prince sort of level, which is cool. Really, really good. So what do we think about one of these, and what do we think about more than one of these in an? Oh wait, stratagems. Sorry.
Yep.
The 2 stratagems that you can use
Stretch.
is
Supreme Deception.
Yeah, and you got Soul Horror.
Yep.
Use a stratagem at the start of the fight phase. Choose one collected assassin in your army. Enemy units within 3 inches of that model cannot be chosen to fight this phase until after all other units have done so, even if they charged. If one of those units has an ability that allows them to fight first in this phase, they instead fight in this phase if they didn't have this ability. That's an incredible ability.
Yeah, it's good. It's alright.
I think it's really useful in an Imperium force, depending on how you're building them. Like, well, let's say you had something that that wanted to charge you. Let's say Orc Boys is a good example, and you had something like Wolfen, or you had you could stick these behind even Custody Shield Captain guys. Like, especially Orc Boys are a good example, because if I can drop you down from 30 boys down to 19 boys, so you lose an attack on each Orc Boy, that's really massive. And I've already overwatched you, so making you strike last, and it's every unit within 3 inches. And because he's also a character, so he can. No, he's not a character.
He's a character.
So he can heroically intervene.
Yeah. So you can just lob him in. He's in range of like multiple units,
and then you can shut him down.
He's getting hit on 6s, so it's just like, well, good luck.
Yeah. It's really. I think it's quite good. You would have to build your army around it, and it's more situational.
It's like a Vexator mask.
Yeah. And then Stim Overload. Use this stratagem at the end of the fight phase. Choose whatever Sword Assassin for your army to fight with, even if that model has already fought this phase. If the model has fought, roll on a D. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
That's the Pariah's Gaze.
Yeah, Pariah's Gaze. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase before choosing Collected Assassin to shoot with until the end of the phase. Damage characteristics of that model's range weapons increase to D3.
That's alright, because you can fire both, can't you?
Yeah. But also D6.
They're quite short range though, this is the problem. Because the grenade is only 6-inch range.
Which is, grenade is D3 shots, Strength 2. It's got no AP and it's damage 1. But each roll of
But if you're shooting a sight,
each hit roll of a 6 for an attack move, this weapon inflicts 1 mortal wound if the target, instead of a normal damage, if the target is a psyker.
It's a bit crap.
Well, but the 18-inch Anima Speculum, so
it's all right.
D6 shots, Strength 5, -4, doing D3 damage.
D3 shots, D6 against Psychers.
Which is, D6 shots and D3 damage against Psychers.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool as a sniper and can target characters Psychers.
Yeah.
I really like
weapon?
it.
Is that weapon
Oh,
his
it's
big
also one
eye?
for any Psychers within 18 inches.
Is that his big eyeball?
Huh?
Is the weapon his big eyeball?
Yeah.
So he's just there winking at Psychers.
Just winking them out, yeah.
Fair enough.
Wink.
There you are. Is there anything else on this page? Oh, look, some pretty pictures.
And that's it. And that's all the things to learn about the Assassins. So my takeaway, if you guys are interested, let me just cut to this. My takeaway is that it is, it's all about the snipers.
There's some cool artwork.
Yeah, there's some cool artwork too. But I would go for the snipers personally. I think the capacity for an Imperium force to just shut down, because 40k is effectively a game of characters, right? Realistically,
is it a game of shooting or is it a game of characters?
Well, it's a game of shooting, definitely. That's not that, but a lot of the shooting people rely on for the characters.
Yeah, the reliability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So shooting will still be okay, but the characters make it reliable.
I think so, and I think but then the stratagems are also really impactful as well. So, and you're able to affect them with. I think personally the 3 snipers and then the ability to make command points cost more seems like fairly good. Or 2 snipers and the ability for the command points to cost more seems fairly okay. If I was to take 3. And then if I was to buy a bonus detachment, a bonus one, I would maybe add another sniper if there's loads of characters. I might even add a Calexis because I want to shut down some psychic.
And just stand in my way and be annoying in the Zenith. Also, the Calexis is really good for that mission, which is the is it Vital Intelligence, the HQ one?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Where you can just stand in the middle and you just don't die. Take 3 Calexis, make them your Vital Intelligence. You're not removing those. The 6 is to wound them, they're not doing anything. The 6 to hit, they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Just stood at the back being annoying.
And winning the game.
Yeah, and then you just hunt their characters and you win.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would. So for me, I think the big takeaway is the snipers, realistically, and also as an orc player, like it terrifies me because my opponent can spend 200 points and effectively, definitely delete my characters. Now in ITC,
as long as if there's a terrain you can hide up at, that's the only thing you can really do.
Magic box,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allow us to blocking terrain or some sort of magic box that you can hide in.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
that kind of reduces your flexibility in terms of positioning on the table, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can't know where you want to go.
I'd argue that that I don't know what I was going to argue. Something strong. I would argue, sorry, as an orc player, that I don't want to see 3 snipers ever.
I'm not. Well, this is why I'm not at first.
Yeah, that's why I think they're really overcosted. I think the snipers are.
I'm not that first
don't
because
take them anymore.
yeah, I've built. You can build a lot of redundancy into your orc lists with your characters by taking 3 warp heads and 3 custom force fields, and then you can take the grots if you really want to, just to make sure you keep one alive all the time, because you realistically can't kill that many grots with your assassins most of the time. So if you just have like 1 unit of 20 grots, you're guaranteed to probably keep 1 character alive. So you can have you at least get a choice of what you get to lose.
But things like Drukhari don't get those choices.
No,
Craftworld Eldar don't get those choices, which is nice because I would fucking love to kill Araman all the time.
Although things like Drukhari and Craftworld Eldar, especially if they're building flyer lists, have the choice of just killing the assassins before they kill them.
They don't always have the choice of killing the assassins.
It depends on the board and it depends on who gets first turn. So
Yes.
there's two factors. You need both of them to go right as the assassins player for you to get them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no hiding places and first turn.
But they don't have to be on the board in the first turn.
No, they don't. Neither do your Eldar things, so because you can put them in wave serpents.
Yes, some, but what I'm saying is there are options, which
There are options for both players, so it's not like there's no counterplay.
No, I think but there are options for some people, Necrons, for their characters to be in a tough spot, and also company commanders. That's fun. That warlord, he could die, but in an ITC format, this is actually more challenging because a lot of these characters can potentially go inside of buildings.
It's also the headhunter rule as well. If you do get them, it's worth more.
Yeah, so there's kind of a swing factor there. But I would say that this mini codex could massively affect the game in a way, depending on how people build.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts. I don't know if you do agree or disagree. Your feelings.
I think they could, yeah. I think they could.
I wouldn't necessarily change my orc list just because these guys are around. I think it would just maybe make me have to adapt how I play that particular game if I came up against all the snipers.
I think you'll definitely see more of these things around though. Definitely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially Imperium lists are basically mandatory.
Yeah, I think they're going. I mean, they're fun as well. I think people are going to put
Yeah.
these in Imperium lists to just be like,
Even if you just have 85 point spare, it's like, well, I could just use any one of these four. There we
Yeah.
go, problem solved.
yeah, even one sniper is going to cause you a bit of a headache.
Yeah, or one
Pun
Colexis,
intended.
or one Eversoul that can charge your backline
Yeah.
shooter unit.
And I love the concept that or just increasing the cost of stratagems. Like they all have a place really, which is fun. All right, well, so the show's been going on for 3 hours,
Yeah.
and I know that your
We'll just do it next week.
Yeah, your so the rundown on Jackals that Tom was.
I'd
gonna
rather
do.
not rush it because I've got 3,000 words of it.
Wow.
Yeah, we need at least 3 hours for that.
I can get that done in about an orc game.
Okay.
Easy.
So thank you for listening, everyone on Twitch, and thank you to Nikos and Tom. You guys have been great.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you.
You've
No.
also been great, Rob.
Oh, thanks. Thank you to everyone on the Twitch chat. Thank you everyone on YouTube who's left likes and comments to make the algorithms work.
You guys have also been.
Yeah, you guys are the great. Thank you to everyone, obviously, on Twitch who subscribes. There's been some subscribes and some donation bits from everyone today. Doodah Days kicked it today, but also shout out to Hook and Pin and everyone else who's done so. And everyone on Patreon, you guys are fantastic as well. So thank you very much.
Yep.
We'll see you soon. And there's not really much to say, is there? For Abaddon? For Abaddon?
For Abaddon.
For Abaddon?
For Abaddon.
We'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. Whatever you're doing, enjoy.